Hey everyone, happy Tuesday. Hi Jeannie Lynn, thank you for being here. We are going to get started pretty much right away today, getting back into Karen Reed Trial 2. We finally finished Yuri Buchanek testimony yesterday, his ridiculously long and smug and arrogant testimony that he gave yesterday. So today we are getting into some of the MSP crime lab services, crime scene services people that testified. Most of their testimonies are quite short, so we'll get through them hopefully pretty quickly. And then after these comes another long one of Shannon Burgess. That's going to be a fun one to revisit. Although I do have to say, in the Alessi cross-examining Shannon Burgess was probably one of the most amazing things I ever saw. And I've revisited portions of that testimony and cross-examination several times. And it's pretty amazing. So I do look forward to that. Hey, Maylin. Spire, thanks for always stopping by and saying hi. We love you, Spire. Have a great sleep. Sweet dreams. Maylin's streaming with Angie right now. I'll be back. Okay, thanks, Maylin. Anyways, so with that being said, hi Cheryl. I am actually quite not excited. I can't say excited to watch Shannon Burgess's testimony, but I am at least looking forward to going over some of his testimony again. More so to watch Bob Alessi just rip him to shreds. So, in an attempt to get to one of the most interesting cross examinations of Karen Reed Trial 2, we are going to try and just go right through these few. Now, and I've been thinking about if I should skip any of these, but every time I decide I might skip a smaller, testimony or something, I look back and someone points out that it's something I should have went over, or it might be something we missed. So we're just going to go through them. I'm going to start them at 1.5 speed today. If for any reason that is too fast, please let me know. Hi, Danny. Hi, all listening in the background at work. Thank you. I'm assuming Cheryl is at work as well. Oh, Cheryl's going to the gym, not at work. Sorry. Don't work out too hard and don't work too hard, you guys. As always. Danny, I did want to shout out to you as well. I believe you were the one that sent me a very gracious buy me a coffee donation for my pet fund. So I sent you a thank you reply. I just saw it this morning. I wanted to also just let you know, if that was you, I believe it was, that I truly appreciate it. Every little bit helps. And I know you were in here when we were talking about, I was talking about how I really want a pet. I qualify and could get an emotional support pet, but the upfront costs are pretty expensive. Even adopting one, you have to be prepared. But I'm looking forward to the day where these are the things that I can do. And I could support a pet as much as they would support me. Um, I am truly hoping once the beginning of summer comes, maybe I can go to one of these humane society and things have adoption days and that. I am hoping to come and go and find a nice kitten or cat that's not too old, that will be happy to be with me. And the one thing I have learned with the cats that I have had in the past is, but well, I haven't had that many, but the one that we got first, Tiger the bastard shithead that I had growing up, he was just had the same attitude he always did. We didn't pick him out. He was out of a litter and given to us. But when I got Lainey, my second cat, I picked her out, and I have gone. I do this all the time. I go to the pet stores just to visit the kitties and the puppies that they have there. I hate that they have to sit in those tiny cages all the time. And it makes me happy to go play with them. I know I can't take them home with me, which sucks. But with kittens, especially, or cats, you can normally tell right away if they're a match for you. So that is what I'm looking for. Hey, Shelly. Hey, Danny. Yes, she says, yes, that was me. Love your channel, and everyone needs a kitty or puppy to love on. Yeah, I totally agree. And they make you just, and because it came up on the day I was talking a little bit about how I actually got into it last night. I kind of tend to somehow get on this a lot lately, but it's huge for me because for a couple years after my mom passing away, I was living every day on autopilot, and this community has brought me kind of back to life. And I when I'm not streaming or in a chat, those are the times when I'm not working. Those are the times you realize kind of how lonely it can get, and pets can make all the difference sometimes. So I really miss having one. Even when I had my fish, it was a wonderful thing to have them. So I'm definitely looking forward to the day where I can get one, whichever it tends to be. I wanted to look into getting a puppy, but I live on the second floor of an apartment building, and with my my pain and health conditions I got going on, going up and down the stairs with a puppy that would need to go out and all the time, I just don't think it would be conducive for my legs. So that is why I'm leaning towards getting a cat. But I will keep you updated. If anyone is in Michigan or knows anyone in Michigan that has a kitten or has whatever, like connections to somehow, please feel free to let me know. Before we get started, yeah, it is sweet. You guys have been amazing. Get a cat. Yeah. Well, that's where I'm leaning. So, you're making me want a little boo. Hi, Kentucky Granny. You made it. Yes. I spoke with Kentucky Granny in Baker's chat this morning. And I'm glad to see you're here. Says I made it and I subscribed. I'm late, but just caught the kitty part. I have 3 kittens, 2 dogs, and still would take more if my husband would allow it. That's awesome. Yeah, I really I know mentally it will do so much for me to have a pet, and I'm looking forward to the day. So if anyone can help me in that regard, any kind of donation is completely appreciated, but not necessary. I have PayPal. I have a QR code in the top left corner, which you can send via PayPal and now Venmo. You can send me from Venmo to my PayPal. I also have my PayPal and Buy Me a Coffee links in the ticker at the bottom of the screen. And Maylin has been always gracious enough to put the links to all of my stuff, including my PayPal, Buy Me a Coffee. I have a small, right now, Amazon wish list because I didn't really make it thinking people would actually buy the stuff off of it. But actually, someone already Maylin bought me something, and it's coming in the next day or two, which I look forward to getting. Because I also really need a new computer. Now that I'm streaming so much and I tried really hard to get my desktop working, it's just not. It's old. It's old. I mean, and unfortunately, they don't make technology last like they used to. It works for everything I need it to do except to stream. And so these are things that I just, I don't have extra money for at this time. Got to get my daily fuck you Boost Mobile in. So trigger warning first and foremost for anyone that is new here. The F word does fly out of my mouth at times. I try to keep the swearing down a little bit during the day, just so you know. So, but I just wanted to, anyone that's listening that's new, just to let you know in advance. But with that being said, I've been streaming on this tiny ass laptop. It is not good for streaming. I'm trying to squeeze 2 screens, 2 tabs, windows open, where I go back and forth on a tiny little 14-inch screen. It's a Chromebook, so it doesn't have even where I can plug an HDMI cord in it and get a second monitor going, nothing. And the desktop just doesn't want to work it works for everything except StreamYard and YouTube. It just doesn't want to work those two together. So all donations right now will be going for helping me get my stuff going for streaming. Will help also make up for the money Boost Mobile stole. Thankfully, I did make my rent for April, but May's coming up and I'm doing the best I can. Just knowing that I am now $700, behind of crap they should have never taken in the first place. But I digress. That is a story I've told many times. If you want to hear the story, listen to one of my streams from a couple weeks ago. Any one of them, I probably told the story about 10 times, so I apologize if you heard it that many times. Plus, I cry every time I talk about it, so I don't want to do that today. But anyways, so I appreciate any and all donations that come in. They will truly, truly be appreciated. And with the last thing with that being said is that I have, I did talk about this yesterday, but I almost have my digital journal. As you know, I'm getting my psych nights going. I have my next one scheduled for tomorrow night at 10 o'clock. I may switch it to 9, but I'm not sure. I put it for 10 just in case. But I'm going to try to do them every Wednesday night now, my psych nights. And so what I hope to do for those that join me on my psych nights is get this digital journal going for everyone who participates, where you download 7 days. Every 7 days, you would download your 7-day journal. Each day asks you questions and reminds you to laugh. And I posted the picture I have set for the very first, or for the cover for it, basically. So you guys can kind of see what I've been doing in my community post. So you can check that out. And anyone that has donated or sent any sort of monetary support is going to get a free month of that, along with something else that I'm working on, but that's also going to be a surprise. So now that I'm done with my really long grip this time, sorry, that took a really long time to explain, so I apologize. But for anything, I just want you guys to know how much I truly appreciate you guys, even just being here. If for any reason you can you can, or if you have anywhere to share my GiveSendGo link, that is something all I can ask of you. If you can share that link somewhere or anywhere that you have, because I don't have a big social, media following or anything to share it with. So I appreciate that as well. And just you guys being here every day. I love you. So Shelly says, I love my cat. I have a dog too, but my cat snuggles up and purrs on me and it's relaxing. Definitely. I see, this is what I need. I need it. Have you seen those vids where shelters get prospective adopters, put them in a circle and have the pets, dogs and cats, pick their new owner? Put them in a circle. Oh, no. I've never seen. I got to find that. Sounds like a cat is perfect choice for you. Yes, I need to get one. I really do. I just wish I could afford it. Totally. Oh, what's the song of the day, Moni G? Aw, you're welcome. Pets are so good for the soul, mind, and body. 100%. Jeannie Lynn, be careful driving, sweetie. Hi, Darth Vader. It's okay, you're late. It's all right. I just started, and I just was, going off on tangents. She says, hope everyone is having a wonderful or great day so far, and we hope you are too, Darth Vader. We love you. 3 moody cats miss my dog, says Cheryl. Oh my God, Shelly found her vape. It was in the car. Well, at least it wasn't in the laundry basket. I saw all the ideas she was giving you. Yes, we are definitely glad you found your vape. When I lose my vape, my keys, my phone all the time. I say this a lot. You guys will hear me tell you that if my head wasn't attached, I'd lose that too. Oh, Moni G, you're allergic to cats? Oh, I'm sorry. I guess if I get a cat, Moni G, I'll have to, I don't know. What are we going to do? How can you come hang out with me if I get a cat and you're allergic? The F word is so cathartic. After menopause, I hated the word before, and now every sentence starts with fuck. I talked about menopause last night. Actually, I talked about it a couple times on my streams now because I've been there, done that. It's all gone now. But now, not the biggest thing that came from it is now I'm hot all the time. I went from always being cold to being always freaking hot. And I'm telling you, I'd rather be cold now. I hated being cold for so many years. And now I'm like, what was I thinking? Perimenopause is a bitch. 100%. Thank God I'm through it. But I'm telling you, the hot flashes, it wasn't even flashes. It was just hot. I had started a new job just after starting menopause. The sweating, the profuse sweating is just disgusting. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up on the chat here, guys. If I missed anyone, I'm so sorry. Yes, Darvader says, would you ever do a movie night? There are a handful of good movies based off of factual psych research. Yes, ironically enough, I was just talking to Moni G about this because my favorite movie is Clue. People like My Name is Scarlet, and a lot of people reference it to what is that movie? Gone with the Wind. It's not. My Miss Scarlet is from the movie Endgame Clue. Clue has been my favorite movie since I was little. It's hysterical. If you have not seen it, you need to see it. I know every word of that movie by heart. So yes, the answer to your question is yes. I'm working on it because I do have a Discord. If anybody wants to join my Discord, please send me an email and I will send you a link. We got you, girl. Thank you, Shelly. You're so sweet. Don't worry. Several people fell asleep last night. You're okay, sweetie. I talked really late last night. I just couldn't stop talking. So I appreciate everyone that was there last night. And Kazi G, if you missed it, go back and check it out. Kazi G and I talked cults, what a cult is and what it is not. And he was great. I love having Kazi G on. Okay, Cheryl, see ya later. Oh no, Darvader lost her glasses today while I was out. Couldn't drive until I found them. Yeah, see, I do that shit all the time. Oh, Moni G got our song stuck in her head. Damn it. I was hoping you'd come up with one I didn't know. Are there men in here? If so, I won't mention the one thing that really shocked me during menopause. Oh, I do that shit all the time. Shelly says I put the AC on today in my car and it's 30 degrees. Yeah, because when the sun beams on you, it doesn't matter how cold it is outside. You're already hot. So when the sun beats on you and you're already hot, it's just, I do that shit all the time. And yeah, Shelly's right. Darvader, you're good. Say it. Oh, Kentucky Granny, you love Clue. Yay! Leave someone else. You guys, if you haven't seen that movie, I'm telling you, I'm gonna do a movie day in my Discord in the next week or two because too many people have never seen it. Like, I don't know how people have never at least seen it once. So, and it's hysterical. Kentucky Grammy says, my glasses are always on my head when I lose them. I will look everywhere and reach up and find them on my head. Now, like I said, I was just talking about this the other day. I do that with my keys in my phone. I literally turn the flashlight on my phone to find my phone. Okay? Tell me how stupid that is. Nothing like a little Tom Jones to get the ladies dancing. What's flooding? Oh. I think I know what she means, but I don't want to guess if I'm wrong. Hold on, guys. Yeah. Speaking of vapes, there we go. There's mine. I always try to get myself all comfortable, at least for the next 30 minutes before I start playing the trial, so I don't have to move around too much. How to say this gently? Let's just say I thought everything was all said and done, so I wore gorgeous white jeans to work. Oh, Darth Vader. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. I got it. That's awful. See, our stupid bodies do stupid things to us, play tricks on us. I mean, geez, you go months and months without any, and then you think, sweet, I don't have to worry about it anymore. And something like that happens. Oh my God. Oh, I'm so sorry, sweetie. Yeah, Aunt Flo was flowing. 2 years? So I said months. 2 years? And it still was like, hey, I'm back. Just kidding. Oh my God. But we all feel you, Darth Vader. We all know exactly what that is. We haven't maybe had that experience, but we've all feared it before, and all the other things that go with it. Yeah. So you're talking perimenopause. That's where surprise babies come from. Like, oops, I thought I was, done and done with that. But after 2 years, like, that's a really long time for it to like creep up on you and say, I was just kidding. And I'm back with a vengeance. Yeah, like wrap a sweater around yourself and go home kind of deal. I get it. 3 weeks out of 4? Holy shit, she went out in a blaze of glory. Wow. Yeah, 3 weeks out. Damn. Ugh. But thank God, like I said, I am done with that 100% now because I had to have a hysterectomy and all that good shit. So they already confirmed it with blood work too. 2 years. Blood work confirmed you were postmenopausal. And then it still was like, hey, what's up? You wanted to wear white jeans today? I'm going to screw that up for you. And you know I'm laughing because we have to laugh at stuff like that. I am not laughing at you, Darth Vader. I hope you know that, sweetie. Sorry, my dryer just went off finally. Oh, it was pure hell, and I felt so bad for my family dealing with me and my attitude. Yeah. Yeah, see, then one day, boom, like I said, just shows up out of nowhere and like, I'm just kidding. I just wanted to wreak havoc for you one more time. Yes, we gotta laugh. Exactly. Aw, says Calvin Klein jeans, bright white. I have no butt, but in those, I could fake it. You always love those one pair of jeans that just make you look really good, and you know it. And damn, that, I see, I've never worn a pair of white jeans. I don't think I've ever worn a pair of white pants. And it's not for any like that reason or nice. I'm a dark clothes kind of girl. And actually, it's one of the things that, my one family member I've talked about always picks on me about and always has. Why do you always wear black and gray? Well, because I like it. I like dark colors. It makes me feel comfortable. What's it to ya? One last hurrah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't blame you. You saw them and you treated yourself. Yeah, when you find those one pair of jeans, it doesn't matter what color they are, what kind they are, it doesn't matter. You just know instantly when you put them on, you're like, damn, these feel good. They look good. You just know. What is that one? Where's that show? Oh, in Sex in the City, Miranda. She's like, my skinny jeans. It's like those. Not necessarily skinny jeans, but that's the way you call them. The ones that you just know you look pretty good in, you know? Oh, no, it's not TMI. That's what we're talking about here, Shelly. We're all talking. There's James and Zach aren't here yet or here today. I don't know if they'll be here today, but they're not here yet. And when they do, if they were to come in the middle of this, at least Zach would make a joke anyways. So those are the jeans I would those are the only jeans I would ever even attempt to do the bend and snap. That's so funny. I haven't watched that movie in a long time either. I love that movie, Legally Blonde. Ooh, yeah. The last time I did that, I did conjure them. I was talking about Zach, and poof, he appeared. Exactly, Granny. Says, honey, been there. Nothing is TMI for Granny. My normal ones, 2 to 3 days, and hubby, and spot a day, and done. When perimenopause hit, I thought something was seriously wrong. Heavy, heavy, low, and ugh. Yes, ugh. God, yeah. I'm just so thankful it's done and over with. And anybody on replay looking at this, I should have probably said, but it doesn't matter. You already know we were talking about it. If you didn't want to listen about menopause, you probably skipped over by now. So it's cool. They're lurking and afraid to enter. Yeah, yes. And that's it. Yeah, it's um women can't be afraid to talk about it either. God, it's human nature. Jeez. This is what the world, God, however you want to look at it, gave to women. We have to embrace it. And then we have to laugh at it because if you didn't, you would cry. And just imagine men having to go. Sorry for any man listening, lurking without chatting, or listening on replay. But God forbid a man have to go through what we women go through. Okay? Most of them would whine like little bitches. No offense. Anyways, yeah, look who's on the screen. We can talk before the queen. uh, Look at them with a man cold. Enough said. Oh my God, I remember Judy Blume books. Yep. It's been a long time since I read one of those, so. Yes, Miss Scarlett, we need to normalize this conversation. Our mothers and grandmothers would never speak on this, and we were left in the dark. Let's bring light to the natural. Exactly. It's like we okay, if you're not new, you know that I literally show that. Oh, never mind. I'm not going to say it. I'm going to show it. Hold on. Bear with me while I pull it up.
But I also have seen how much this so have seen how much have seen how
Okay. If Cry Fart can fart on his live streams, doesn't have the courtesy to take some Gas X or hit the fucking mute button, we can talk about menopause, okay? So, there you go.
much have seen have seen how
Okay? There's some farts for you. I can't. Like I just can't stop showing it because it's fucking hilarious. Because he's done this how many it's 3 times now. You think he would learn. You think that he would take the half a second it takes to click the mute button. It's not like you don't know it's coming. You might There might be one that squeaks out now and then when you bend over, but he's not bending over. He has no excuse. Supposed to be taking a nap, Shelly. Well, sorry. I hope that you do get your nap in, though, sweetie, because I know how important those are. Trust me, I do. We're all blessed with a bit more wind as we age, too. That's for sure. But it's, you normally know it's coming. At least enough time to tap the mute button. And if you know you're having a particularly gassy day, take some fucking Gas X, okay? Or Beano, you know? So, in case Cry Fart doesn't know what this stuff is and somehow watches me show off his fart to everyone. Okay? Beano. My ex-husband used to have the worst, and I mean worst smelling farts. He thought it was hysterical. Like, farting is funny, but when they smell so bad that I literally, and I mean literally, was gagging, the entire house, he would permeate the entire house. This is what I would buy him. Okay? Or you can get this, Cry Fart. Okay? Get some Gas X. Just saying. Better in than out. Still not napping. My dog farts every time he gets off the couch now because he has no shame and thinks it's funny. Of course he does. Aw, you guys are so awesome. You're making me laugh like crazy today. Kentucky Granny says, that's my line. I always say today may suck, but it beats the alternative, or any day above dirt is a good day. Exactly. When people ask me how I'm doing, I always say, I'm above ground. Yeah, people take it for granted. And I'm not going to go on that soapbox today. But like I do say every day, pretty much, I try to remind everyone that we can't take life so seriously. Even in serious matters, we have to find a way to laugh and smile. Just have to. Because if you don't, if you can't, if you choose not to, even carve out a couple minutes of every day to find something to make you laugh or smile, what's the point? That's just how I feel. So here we will always find a way to laugh, even in the serious matters, even in talking about the serious things, we are going to laugh. Aw, Kentucky Granny said, okay, I was iffy about being here, and now I see it's a bunch of folks like me. I love y'all. Well, we love you. Everyone here is amazing. I went on and on last night. I did. I went on for quite a bit. I ended up streaming way longer than I had planned last night. But I did. I talked about this community. It's an amazing community. You find some wonderful people and they just get you. And it's an amazing feeling. That's why Cryfart is getting the last laugh. He's thinking, just be glad you're not in the studio with me. And thank God for little favors. Hell yeah, I don't want to know what that's. I don't want to know what that studio smells like, okay? No, thank you. Oh boy. Oh, look who's here. Zach's here. I see. I start talking about it. I start talking about him, and poof, he appears. You slept late? That tenth of a gummy put me down like a tranquilizer. Yeah, Mary B couldn't join me last night. Rat House Media and Danny went live. So she had planned on coming on with me and Kazi G to talk cults and go over some CBD and THC lessons for me, since I'm so, beginner on all this stuff. And the 3 times that I've tried it, you guys that know that it made me sick. So she was trying to give me a little bit of education in the chat. So she's hopefully going to come on soon with me, and we're going to discuss all things CBD versus THC versus ratioed. I'm not sure what they're called, but she's going to give me some lessons. So I look forward to that. If someone sees Shelly, tell her I'm ignoring her. Did you sign the papers yet, Zach? I do know she's been chasing you down, asking for pen or for a pen. Buzz. Don't make me swear in here. You still didn't see it? You didn't sign the papers. Yes, we love Zach. Yeah, Zach, you missed all about our menopause talk. That's why I brought you up, because KY Granny is new here today in my chat, and was worried if something she said would be too much information. And I said, no, of course not. And plus, Zach and James aren't here yet, so say whatever you want to say. So we had quite a long conversation about the beauty or lack of beauty in going through menopause. Yeah, Zach has all of our secrets. Feel free to share. Tell Zach I'm ignoring him. Okay, you guys. Sure, periods are great. Almost as good as semicolons. Good one, Zach. See, this is what I'm talking about. We enjoy our laughs quite often here, and I love it. Shelly says, buzz off. Zach is going through perimenopause? Oh, shit. That means Zach's going to be moody. Damn. I'm surprised he didn't go off on me yesterday then when I was throwing spitballs or spitting spitballs in his hair. Zach says, in the old days, a traveling musician would come through your village every 30 days and play. It was called the minstrel cycle. Done with menopause. I do. You did tell me that the other day, Zach. I forgot. Yes, we had some crazy girl talk. But I love it. But Zach's allowed to chat with us girls. He gets it. And if he doesn't, he just jokes about it. Zach may laugh now, but I swear men go through their own form of menopause. Maybe we should call it lady pause. I love puns. I'm still working on my mini video. I had so many projects started. That's why nothing's finished, because I started so many projects in the last week or so. But I'm working on that mini video of all of our puns for Ian Whippen that we did that day. It was so good. I can't wait till I'm done with it. Do you use that one before? And don't worry, I steal your joke. I don't steal your jokes. Oh. I love M Spire's silly little jokes. She always sends Baker. I did my joke day a couple weeks ago. I'll have to do another one. I have to find some new ones because I think I read through most of the ones I had saved. So I have to find some new ones. And if anyone wants to send me jokes to be read, please do. Oh, speaking of, Shelly says, what do you call a seagull that flies over the bay? I'm waiting for the punchline, Shelly. Penis meanness syndrome. Oh my God. I think you said that before. I totally forgot about it. So it's just as funny. It's too funny. Those are from the internet, same as Zach's. Mine are from life, which is why I never steal Zach's. A bagel. I love it. I'm telling you, I truly love little puns like that. Oh, KY Granny says, I have several beautiful lakes around me. I'll take you to a good fishing hole. Catfish and bass all day. You'll be tired of reeling them in. That sounds cool. I haven't been fishing in a really long time. I'll never forget when I was little, we used to go camping up at Lake Isabella, and it was so much fun. But I was the only one because it was like my whole family, my mom, me and my brother, my one aunt and uncle, and my 3 cousins of theirs, and then my other aunt and uncle and my 2 cousins of theirs. So there was quite a few kids that always went up, sometimes even more, but it was always our 3 families at least. And my one aunt and uncle, they have the camper on the grounds, and we had tents. So us kids, we got to sleep in the camper sometimes and sometimes in the tents. But my one aunt and uncle had a nice big boat, and then my other uncle had like a fishing boat. And I was the only one that ever wanted to get up with my uncle and go fishing and just sit in the boat. I love it. I love being on the water. I didn't even care if I caught a fish. It was just fun to sit there and enjoy it. Even at a young age, I loved it. There's nothing better than just enjoying the scenery of a beach or water or something like that. Lake, river, it doesn't matter. To me, any sort of water, waves, running water, somewhere like that, it's just so calming and peaceful to me. Says, I'm in Corbin, hometown with mama, 90 years young. Aw, Laurel Lake is the best and cleanest lake. So if you're in Kentucky, so where like Where is Corbin in Kentucky relative? Like east, west, north, south? Like based on if you were to look at where Cincinnati is, the bottom of Ohio, and drive into Kentucky, where would you be? Southern. Gotcha. You guys have hot weather yet? I do see, because I see. Oh, sorry, I just have to say this, Moni G. That happens to me all the time. I hate wearing socks. I know I've said that several times on here. Um, she says, I'm getting ready to leave my house. My feet are frozen and I'm sweating my arse off. Um, I hate wearing socks. I say this all the time. I would prefer to be barefoot. But these last couple days with it going down into the 40s again, of course I'm hot, but my feet have been freezing. It's such a weird feeling to your body be hot to where you don't even want to put covers on, even though I can't really sleep without covers on. But my feet are frozen. So I've had to wear socks these last few days and I hate it. Okay, so you're about 20 minutes from Tennessee line, and if you're coming from the north, exit 29 on 75. Oh, that's awesome. I am up. I think I talked to you a little bit about this. Oh, it's 80 degrees there. Oh, so jealous. Anything, I mean, I'm perfectly happy with anything between like 58 degrees. I mean, even 55, let's say. Above 55, below 80. I'm perfectly happy. Because even in the high 70s, normally with a fan, as long as there's wind outside, because we don't get a lot of extremely sunny days. Most of the time, we get partially sunny, partially cloudy, whatever. And you have some wind going. And I just love having the windows open and enjoying some fresh air. Because in Michigan, I've talked about this as well, that we have hot and cold. We don't have 4 full seasons anymore, and it sucks. So when you're constantly stuck in the house with either the heat on or the air conditioner on, the minute I can enjoy and not be too hot with the windows open and a fan, I do it. Oh, but that's what I was saying. So I'm in that's what I was saying about where I'm in. I'm in Southeast Michigan, Metro Detroit. So 75, I literally live about a mile from 275, which is where you would go south on 275 to hit 75 downriver. So I'm very familiar with 75 because it goes all the way down to Florida. Yes, joys of living, right, lady friends? Oh, you're Jeannie Lynn's on 75 right now, going with hubby to the doctors. I hope hubby's doing good. I hope you got your van all fixed up too. Wow. It was 40 degrees in Texas. That's freezing cold for Texas, I know. One of my good friends lives just outside Houston. And I've driven down to there 3 times. Yeah, 3 times. Long drive. Holy shit. But Texas is a huge state. Holy shit. But I love it there. It's really, I went there all 3 times I went down there. It was in winter. So it was nice to get down there when it's, well, 10 degrees up here. You go down there, you wake up in the morning and it's chilly, maybe 40 degrees. But then by the middle of the day, it's, 65, 70. Like, I wish. We have wonderful spring. My perfect temps are 65 to 75. Exactly. I agree with you there. But we just don't have it here. Michigan is just lately, in the last 10 years or so, we've gotten less snow. Not that I complain about that, but we've gotten less snow. Our winters haven't been as cold until this past year. This is the coldest winter we've had in a long time. But we don't. We used to have month and a half long spring. Same with fall. We'd have a beautiful fall here in Michigan with the changing of the leaves, colors, enjoying cooling off from a hot August. But now it's like it's hot and then it's cold. And then you go from cold to hot. You have, like last week, we had 1 week of beautiful temperatures, like 70 to 68, 70 degrees. And then, but all it did was rain. And then this week we're back to 40, 45 degrees. And then, like in a week, it's going to be 80 degrees or something. Like it's just crazy. But that's Michigan for you. When people from Michigan tell you that you can literally wear shorts one day and snow boots the next, we aren't kidding. That happens here. It's insane. And Kentucky Granny says, Jeannie, you be safe. Send good wishes for a good doctor visit. Yes. Yeah. Auntie Bev would love this combo. And I bet she's She's hoot 2 to 3 White Claws in. Oh, you have a 2 p.m. Zoom meeting? Aw, I'm so glad that you came. We'll see you when you get back. We'll be here for a while. Ontario is bigger than Texas. When I think of driving across any state, it seems so easy. Yeah, well, Texas, I mean, it's huge. So is California, top to bottom. And a lot of people that live like in Europe, I mean, even I was told, I think by Moni G, talked about how Baker talked about not realizing that when you come to the States, driving state to state is not as quick as they think. Our states are big, especially in states like Texas and California. I mean, Michigan, I tell people this, they don't realize Michigan from east to west coast, at least the lower peninsula, you can get from Detroit to, say, Grand Rapids in about 3 hours. But north to south, like going from Detroit up to Houghton in the UP, takes almost 11. They don't realize. All right, Shelly. See you when you get back, sweetie. Have a great nap. A hoot. I got you. Hi, crazy Sandy. I used to hate online meetings. I had to put on a bra. It's funny. Is it really? That's big. Texas is almost 1,000 miles north to south, and also west to east is 880 miles. See, it's insane. I don't know the mileage for Michigan. I just know the time frame. So it's funny. I never really checked. I don't remember because I haven't been up to the UP in probably 15, 16 years. Oh yeah, I bet. Ontario and Quebec take a long time to drive through. I didn't know that Quebec or Ontario was bigger than Texas. Because Texas, God, I'm not kidding when I say Texas is huge. I've driven through it 3 times. Ooh, Moni G asked Zach, "Are you going to Knoxville?" Yes, I want to know who is going. I'm super excited. The more and more I talk about it, Moni G and I looked up hotels. I got a hotel booked, thankfully, because I did not have to pay for it in advance. So hopefully we've got now 2 people that may be splitting the hotel cost with us. So if anyone wants to know what hotel we're staying at or wants to join in, whatever, please send me an email or on Discord. Aw, Shelly, you're so sweet. Says, why am I still here? I can't quit you. Well, just put it, put the earbuds in or put the phone down or just listen on your TV, however it goes. And close your eyes and we'll get you to sleep, especially once I start the trial, which we're going to start here in a minute. But of course, I've just got to chat with my people. I love it. It used to take me 12 hours from Sudbury to Thunder Bay, which is right beside Manitoba. The other way, it's 5 hours to Ottawa, and then more after that before you hit Quebec. Like, I know Canada's big. I know it's huge. I just didn't realize Ontario alone. Like, because I know it takes from Detroit to Toronto is like 4.5, 5 hours, I think. Something like that. Zach's not going to Tennessee. He says, I wish I was, but my daughter graduates the week before and I promised to take her on a trip. Oh, that's so sweet, Zach. Can I ask where you're going on your trip? I hope that you're taking her somewhere super fun. I'm sure no matter where you go, though, you guys will have lots of fun. I can't quit you, babe. You're so sweet. Oh, Moni G, you didn't go grocery shopping yesterday? Yes, family first, always. Okay, so 4.5 to 5 hours would be 450 to 500 kilometers if you were doing 100-kilometer-an-hour highway. So I'm assuming that 60 miles. 100 is what? 65 miles per hour, something like that. I don't really know. I'll be honest. But it's crazy, yeah. I never realized how big just Ontario was. But going from Tennessee, like Texas, when I drove down to Texas, once I got through Texarkana and got into Texas, and then driving straight down to Houston was like half the trip. So coming from Southeast Michigan to go down through Ohio, part of Indiana, part of Arkansas, and Missouri. So what was it? Past four other states. Takes me just as long to get through those few states than it does to get through all of Texas from north to south. It's crazy. Can't sleep without a fan. Anyone else or just me? I had a friend like that. We used to go on bowling. She was on my bowling team, and when we went to a bowling tournament, she would always have to bring a fan because she couldn't sleep without the noise. It wasn't even for the cooling of it. It was the noise. It was crazy. You're going to the beach. She loves to fish and then to see her friends east of Houston. So cool. How fun. You guys will have lots of fun. For Michigan maps and facts, World Atlas Michigan is the 11th largest U.S. state by total area, covering 96,714 square miles, including 41.5% water. Awesome. We always love learning something new on this channel as well. I don't have a car right now, Darth Vader, silly. But yes, I do know the conversion of kilometers is on your speedometer when you have the not ones that are digital. It's the largest state east of the Mississippi River, measuring 56,539 square miles of land and 40,102 square miles of water. Thank you. Its extensive 3,288-mile freshwater coastline is the longest in the nation besides Alaska. I love these facts, Moni G. Thank you. Okay, Shelly, you have a wonderful nap because this is perfect timing. I am going to start our trial watch for the day. Thank you guys so much for the conversation. I love you guys every day. We just talk about whatever comes up, and I love it. We always have some laughs. We will probably take several breaks today as needed to get our laugh on. But we are starting with who is this guy? Trooper Zachary Clark from the MSP Crime Services. And then after him, we have Trooper Evan Brent. These testimonies are between 20 and 30 minutes each. And then we have Maureen Hartnett from the MSP Crime Lab. That is the longest of these, which is just over 2 hours. So hopefully we will get through that. And then tomorrow we will start with Squirty Bello and then get into Shannon Burgess. So how far is Pontiac from me? It's 20 minutes. About 20, 25 minutes, depending on where in Pontiac. Why do you ask, Jeannie Lynn? Just curious. Because the nice thing about where I live is I'm literally right down the street from the entrance to the main freeway around here, the main connector freeways. Narrator says, but I will say, best border crossing, Thousand Island Bridge, the U.S. side, has a set of ravens off in the distance made out of sheet metal. If you blink, you miss them. They're awesome. Oh, cool. Oh, wow. We are talking about our Pontiac and was wondering why they don't make them anymore. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I don't know why Pontiac technically went out of business. I mean, Pontiac was owned by GM, I think. Was it I always get that mixed up. GM or GMC? I don't know. But they always had like Ford, they always have their like either more expensive or less expensive versions of the same car, you know. Like Chrysler and Dodge Ford, and what's the M? What's the other cars that start with the M? From why can't I think of the name? The other brand of cars that basically Ford owned and was supposedly the more classy version of damn it. I can literally see the symbol. And I know the cars that they used to make, like instead of a Ford Taurus, it was instead of a Escort, it was this, and now I can't think of the fucking name. Not Mazda. Ford did own Mazda, but that's not what I'm talking about. They always have the other hold on, I'm gonna look it up. Mercury. Okay. So that's the one. So like Mercury was the brand that of Fords that were basically the exact same models of cars, but had a different name. They were a Mercury whatever instead of a Ford whatever, and the Mercury was technically more upscale in a way. Their standard cars always came with a little more than the Fords. So that's how Pontiac was for GM, I believe. Okay, hold on, because now that I'm looking stuff up, I gotta look it up. Pontiac was owned. Yes, I was right. GM. So General Motors owned Pontiac, and then when GM went through Chapter 11 bankruptcy and did its restructuring in 2010, it discontinued the brand. So now we know. Oh, my dad had a Pontiac Bonneville in 1990. We had a Pontiac Grand Dam, and then which was an 88, I believe. And then he had like a 90, I think it was a 92 Pontiac Bonneville. I love that car. I actually got to drive it after I got my license. It was just a big car. Okay, so now that we've talked cars, where's Zach when we're talking cars, dude? It's funny. So now that we've talked everything, we went from menopause to cars. So hey, we get to everything in my chat, okay? We love it. I love it. So I am going to get started here, like I said, with this Trooper Zachary Clark. I am going to mute myself for about 5 minutes. I have to make a quick phone call. I will be back, guys. Don't go anywhere, but here we go. Let me make it full page. One moment, please. It was like driving a big luxurious boat. Yes, exactly. All right, here we go, guys. I'll be right back.
Since we left here the other day, everyone said no worship. All right, can we have our next witness, please?
All right, may I?
Yes.
The Commonwealth seeks to introduce two clips.
Okay.
The first clip the Commonwealth would seek to introduce and show the jury is clip 20.
This innuendo here, that you guys have really been going at it. This was sort of had like a last date element to it. Was that going on?
That was not going on. John made it clear to me, I'm never breaking up with you. You know, not never that we're in this good or bad, but you're the best person I've ever.
The Commonwealth would ask to show clip 19.
I don't think, I don't see how John would have known about my text with Brian. And I'm not sure if he knew he would have reacted very strongly. I think we would have broken up, but I don't think John would have lost it and caused a fight. I didn't feel like John's emotions with me got really strong.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Lally, whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Could you please introduce yourself to the jury and spell your last name for the court?
My name is Zachary Clark. My last name is spelled C-L-A-R-K.
And what do you do for work, sir?
I'm a sergeant with the state police, sir.
And how long in total have you worked for the Mass State Police?
Approximately 7 years.
And in what capacity do you currently work?
I currently work for the Norfolk District Attorney's Office.
In the detective unit, is that correct?
That's correct.
And how long or when did you begin working with the Norfolk County SBDU?
February of 2023.
And you're a sergeant currently within the state police, is that correct?
That's correct.
And when you initially joined the Massachusetts State Police, did you undergo any training?
Yes, I did.
And can you please describe to the jury, generally speaking, what that training consisted of?
Yes. I attended the 83rd RTT, or Recruit Training Troop, with the state police, hosted in New Braintree. It's approximately 6 to 7 months in duration. It included criminal law, criminal procedure, motor vehicle law, defensive tactics, emergency vehicle operations, etc.
Now, when you initially joined the state police, where were you assigned?
I was originally assigned to the State Police Sturbridge Barracks, or C5.
And how long were you at the Sturbridge Barracks at C5?
Approximately 2 years.
And where did you go from there?
From there, I transferred to the Crime Scene Services section in 2020, and I spent 3 years in that unit.
And what specialized training did you receive in relation to that work with the Crime Scene Services section?
Upon entry to that unit, troopers assigned are put through an in-house training program hosted by the state police. It's the lion's share of a year. Begins with a history of the study of fingerprints, biology, morphology. It progresses to supervised casework, processing techniques, evidence collection, and culminates in a competency exam for any of the disciplines that the trooper is assigned.
Now, when you're working for the Crime Scene Services section, how are assignments made typically within that unit?
Typically, troopers work on an on-call schedule. They're
Back, everyone. I forgot. I was listening. Damn, I was on the phone, but I didn't want to come back in and disturb my phone call. I'm gonna put it up, boost it up to 1.5. I forgot. But if it gets too fast, please let me know. You're gonna tell the one and only one Michigan joke that you know. You gotta tell it now, because now I want to know. It says this guy looks like he's never smiled in his life. Aw, he does look sad, doesn't he? And he's got his ears kind of pointy, aren't they? Like owls? Sorry, now I'm not. That's all I'm gonna see now. Sorry.
advance notice and they're on call for 24-hour periods. Most often, if a call is received or a request is made for crime scene services during that call period, the trooper assigned responds.
And sort of geographically, as far as the on-call trooper is concerned, how is that sort of divvied up?
So I was assigned to the Maynard Laboratory. The crime scene services section is organized by crime labs. Maynard encompasses a large area, upward of 50 cities and towns. Some of the more northern towns would be Lowell and Billerica. and it goes all the way down to Canton and Stoughton. The trooper on call for that 24-hour period covers that entire region.
Now, sir, were you working?
It's 222. Make a wish. And Darth said it would take me a few lines out for the Michigan joke. Well, you'll have to email it to me or somehow tell me one day because I love to hear it.
With the State Police Crime Scene Services section on February 1st, 2022.
Yes, I was.
And where were you requested to go on that day?
I was requested to respond to the Canton Police Headquarters.
And approximately what time did you arrive at the Canton Police Department?
Approximately 9 in the morning.
And who did you meet upon your arrival there?
I was met by the requesting officer, Michael Proctor.
And what was the purpose, or what was described to you initially as the purpose of you responding to that location?
The request was made for me to assist in documenting a search warrant that was being executed on a vehicle housed at the police department.
And who do you recall being present during your time at Canton Police Department and during that search warrant execution?
Trooper Proctor was present. There was a forensic scientist from the crime lab, Maureen Hartnett. There were various members of the Canton Police Department. There were members of the State Police Crash Reconstruction Section, Trooper Joe Paul, to name one. There were members of the Norfolk SPDU as well.
And if you know, in addition to Michael Proctor, how many other members of the Norfolk SPDU were present during the search warrant?
I'm aware of at least 3.
And what was it that you were asked to document at that location?
Namely, it was Karen Reed's vehicle.
And where was that vehicle located within the Canton Police Department?
It was in the garage bay.
Now, can you describe to the jury the process of your documentation or memorialization of that vehicle that morning?
Yes. Typically, upon arrival, I would consult with the requesting officer to determine the scope of the search warrant. In that case, it was Michael Proctor. He described that the vehicle was being searched for a variety of things, to include biological evidence, communication devices, alcohol containers, receipts, infotainment center data, etc. He asked me to document the vehicle with digital photographs. I then consulted with the forensic scientist who was present as well to determine the order in which the vehicle would be documented and processed. I began by documenting the vehicle's exterior in photographs prior to any manipulation or movement, and then proceeded to document the interior and its contents.
Now, any items that were seized during the execution of that search warrant, how were they photographed prior to being seized?
They're photographed in place prior to being moved.
Now, what kind of instruments or tools do you use typically while photographing items for crime scene services?
The main piece of equipment we would use is a digital camera. We wear protective equipment, namely gloves and a mask typically, often a scale, so that the images can be calibrated to true size upon examination later. Sometimes placards or ruler tape we placed on items of interest or items that will be collected.
Now, on this occasion, you mentioned Maureen Hartnett from the crime lab was present there as well.
That's correct, sir.
And what did you observe her doing as far as any sort of documentation with relation to certain things or items or areas of the vehicle?
My recollection is that she was chiefly concerned with the exterior of the vehicle, namely the rear right corner, and she was looking for DNA and trace evidence, I believe.
And as far as, was there any delineation that you saw her place on the vehicle with respect to certain areas of the vehicle?
Yes, she marked various locations on the vehicle with ruler tape.
And is that something that you would photograph both prior to and afterward when she would place those stickers or labels on the vehicle?
The area would be documented during my overall photographs prior to her placing any placards or ruler tape. And then once those placards are placed, they would be photographed again.
Now, in addition to the photographs, what else did you do with respect to the vehicle?
I was also asked to process the front right passenger compartment of the vehicle for friction ridge impressions.
Now, what is a friction ridge impression?
A friction ridge impression is it's a replica or an impression of the friction ridge skin on the hands or the feet. Friction ridge skin is an evolutionary adaptation on human beings to allow for better grasp of objects. What makes it unique and significant to policing is that that friction ridge skin has unique patterns that form through ridges and furrows or hills and valleys, and they're unique to every individual. In the hundreds of years that fingerprints have been studied, no two individuals have ever been determined to have the same fingerprints. Analysts are trained to examine these patterns, more importantly, the individual ridge events, and conduct examinations that can lead to identifications or exclusions.
Now, just briefly, can you describe for the jury that process of how you do that?
I would document the vehicle.
Really quick, Darth is giving us the joke, so I'm going to start. She is going to probably need a couple chats, so here we go. As she's typing the rest of it, I'm going to begin what she says. So, okay, it says, I'll try my best here. It's much better in voice, but 2 stoners arrive in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan to visit their buddy. Their buddy texts that he had to work, can't meet them until later. Buddy says, what do we do in the meantime? SSM dude says, cross the border. Drinking age is only 19. Sault Ste. Marie. Okay, Sault Ste. Marie dude says, cross the border. Drinking age is only 19. So they go to the border and call him on FaceTime. Just waiting for the rest of it. So they go to the border and call him on FaceTime. They're at the border, paranoid and high. Get to the border patrol. Where are you going? Sault Ste. Marie. Oh, his buddy yells on FaceTime, no, Sue, Sue, Sue. So, okay. So, Border Patrol, where are you going? Stoner says Sault Ste. Sue. Gotcha. So, yeah. Sorry, I blew it. That was all me. Wow. So, okay. Bunch of stoners going to Canada to visit their buddy. Buddy texts, "You had to work, can't meet. What do we do in the meantime? Cross the border. Drinking age is only 19. So they go to the border, calls them on FaceTime. Paranoid and high, they get to the border patrol, who asks, where are you going? Stoner says, Sault Ste. Sue. Buddy yells on FaceTime, no, it's Sue. Sue, so I don't, yeah. It's not, I'm laughing at myself. Because I'm trying to say it right, but yeah, it's going right over my head. I think this is one of those ones that have to be told by the person who knows it so you can hear it properly. Now, I will say that it is funny alone when people try to say Sault Ste. Marie because they don't, they don't know how to say it. Just like a lot of our cities in Michigan are a lot like those in Massachusetts, where you can't, it's not pronounced the way it looks. So with that being said, see, I read it wrong. I get it. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm laughing at myself, because I was trying so hard to read it how I thought it might be, but I just didn't. I blew it. I just did. So, Darvader, when you join me in a voice chat or movie night or whatever we do coming up, you'll have to tell me that joke again properly so I can fix that. Yes, I know the correct pronunciation is Sault Ste. Marie. Right. So the stoners read it as Sault Ste. Marie. Yeah. Friend says, no, Sue. So the stoner changes it to Sault Ste. Sue. Oh, I get it. Oh, okay, I get it now. So when the stoner's like, dude, it's basically trying to say, no, it's not Salt, it's Sue. But because Sue is a woman's name and the last part of the name Sault Ste. Marie is Marie, he replaced the wrong word. And it's sad that I have to explain this to myself enough to get it, but I get it now. So I totally ruined that joke. I'm so sorry. I ruined it. But at least I get it now. All right, I'm gonna take it in and maybe try again next time. Yes, veteran boys got it, and Jeannie Lynn gets it now too. All right, as bad as I ruined that joke let's get back into this.
With photographs first, and then determine what medium would be used to process the vehicle. In this case, white fingerprint powder was selected. The particular area processed was relatively small. It was the front passenger compartment, interior and exterior. I focused on surfaces that are more conducive to friction ridge impressions. Certain surfaces are far more conducive than others. Typically, non-porous surfaces like glass, polished metal, dash surfaces are better for impressions, more likely to yield impressions than porous surfaces, which is items like paper or unfinished wood. The area was processed with white fingerprint powder, examined, and no impressions of value were determined to be present.
Now, just briefly, Trooper Clark, when you say no impressions of value were determined, what can you explain to the jury a little more, expound upon what that means?
Analysts are trained to determine during the analysis phase if an impression is of value for comparison. What that means is whether or not the impression, if any, has enough quantitative and qualitative detail where it could be compared to a known impression or an exemplar and make a finding. In this case, there were no usable impressions.
Now, upon that initial documenting of the vehicle, were you asked to go anywhere else?
Yes, I was also requested to respond to 34 Fairview Road in Canton and take overall photographs of a scene.
And when you say overall photographs, can you describe to the jury what your understanding of that term is?
Overall photographs are essentially just like they sound. They're typically taken from a distance. They're not examination level photographs. They're general area photographs. This particular case, it was an outdoor scene. I was directed where to focus my attention, and I took a series of photographs of that area.
Now, did anyone go with you there?
Not that I recall.
And when you say your area, your attention was directed to certain areas, where was your attention focused?
The requesting officer explained that upon my arrival, I would see an area in the front lawn or close to the street at that address where a significant amount of snow had been partially cleared away near a flagpole. He asked that I take overall photographs of that area, given the lighting was preferable, and to focus on the front of the residence, that cleared area, and the street around it.
And Trooper Clark, what do you recall in reference to the snow accumulation on the area of the lawn near the flagpole of 34 Fairview Road on that date of February 1st?
My recollection is that there was a significant amount of snow present. Snowbanks were apparent from what I presume to be plowing. There was an area that did appear to be cleared and heavily trodden by footwear and tires. Still, even in that area, there was a significant amount of snow with certain spots of grass showing.
Now, while you were there, sir, did you or anyone else do any sort of excavation of that front lawn area?
No.
Now, following that, where did you go?
I returned to the Canton Police Department.
And why did you return to the Canton Police Department at that point?
I had finished my assignment with 34 Fairview, and I was asked to return. I believe the forensic scientist was continuing to process the vehicle. At that time, I would re-encounter her and determine if there was any additional photographs required. Now, in addition to the photographs that you took initially at the Canton Police Department, what else did you memorialize with reference to the vehicle that day? They took general photographs of the vehicle, the contents. At one point, a bag was presented to me with evidence by one of the Canton officers. Let me ask it this way, sir. At some point, you mentioned there was a reconstruction trooper who was present at the Canton Police Department, correct? That's correct. And so what, if anything, did you document with respect to that reconstruction trooper outside of the Canton Police Department? Trooper Joe Paul asked while I was there to document a series of brake and acceleration tests with digital video that he was performing with the same vehicle. I was also asked to take photographs and video of the vehicle's backup warning system, which was activated as they performed some tests. You want me to approach?
Yes.
Dr. Clark, do you recognize that?
Yes.
What do you recognize that to be?
This is the crime scene photos.
And what's contained on that disc is that a fair and accurate portrayal of what you observed both inside and outside the Canton Police Department with respect to Ms. Reed's vehicle, as well as the scene of 34 Fairview on February 1st. I presume it is. Almost introducing it as an exhibit. I'm assuming that that's all that's on the disc, and if that's the case, then we have no objection.
You've seen it.
I haven't seen that particular disc. We have received the photos and discovery. I'm not concerned about that. Okay. With the court's permission, if I could just publish a few of those photos here.
Okay.
Yep, I used to go to Canada all the time when I was 19.
I'm sorry, may I approach the witness
Yes.
briefly? I'm presenting you with 3 photographs. Do you recognize what's depicted in each of those 3 photographs? Yes, I do. And what do you recognize depicted in each of those 3 photographs? In general. I would describe these as a mid-range and a close-up photograph of the vehicle's dash area. And Your Honor, separately, may I almost seek to introduce them as the next 3 exhibits?
All right, I'd like to do it as one exhibit.
ABC?
Please, yes.
Ms. Gilman, if I could have photograph 2616. And Ms. Gilman, if I could ask you to zoom in on the steering wheel just above the L for the Lexus sign. And Sergeant Clark, do you see what's depicted up on the screen? Yes, I do. And from this photograph, just above the steering wheel on the right-hand side, what do you observe there? Vehicle's odometer reading. And is that what the odometer read as far as when you took this photograph outside of the Canton Police Station on February 1st? Yes, it is. And Ms. Gilman, if I could have 2617. And again, Ms. Gilman, if you could just zoom in a little on the center of that photograph. And again, Sergeant, if you could describe for the jury what we're looking at in this photograph.
This is a mid-range photograph of the vehicle's display screen, the center console, with what I would describe as the backup warning system activated as the vehicle approaches a pedestrian.
And lastly, Ms. Gilman, the next photograph, which is 2618. And again, Sergeant, what are we looking at in this photograph?
More or less the same as the last photograph, sir.
Closer up image than the prior photograph, is that correct?
That's correct.
Thank you. Ms. Gilman, you can take that down. Thank you, sir. I have nothing further for this witness.
Let's go, ready?
Thank you, Ron. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Your earliest involvement in this case was on February 1st of 2022.
That's correct.
You ended up, and by the way, at that time, you were a trooper assigned to the crime scene services section,
That's correct.
and that was in which town in Massachusetts?
Where I was assigned, sir?
Yes,
Maynard.
Maynard, okay. About a year later, you actually joined the Norfolk CPAC unit or the Norfolk Detectives Unit, correct?
That's correct.
And when you joined the Norfolk CPAC unit, Lieutenant Brian Tully was the supervisor of that unit, was he not?
Yes, he was.
You are still with that unit, correct?
That's correct.
So you've been there for approximately 2 years, a little bit more than 2 years.
That's correct.
And so you were there when Lieutenant Tully was removed as the supervisor of that unit, correct?
That's sustained, and folks are to disregard that. Jurors, pay no attention to that question or answer. That is not properly before you with this witness.
Is Lieutenant Tully still the supervisor of that unit? Yes.
I'm going to see you at sidebar for just a minute, please.
Okay, so going back to February 1st of 2022, you learned that Michael Proctor had called your unit, resulting in your involvement in this case on that date, correct?
That's right.
And Michael Proctor had requested that you go to the Canton Police Station.
That's correct.
At the time, were you aware that the Canton Police Station, or the Canton Police Department, I should say, had a conflict of interest with this investigation? Yes.
Rephrase it. Comparison.
Well, were you aware when you were called out on this case that John O'Keefe had been found mortally wounded on Brian Albert's lawn?
I was advised of that fact upon my arrival.
Okay. And you were advised of the fact that Brian Albert's brother was a Canton police detective?
I did not know that.
Still, it was the Canton Police Station and not the state police barracks where Michael Proctor instructed you to go, correct?
That's right.
Was he there before you, or did you arrive there before him?
He was there before me.
When you got there, where did you see Michael Proctor within the Canton Police Department?
Inside the garage bay.
And is that also called a sally port?
Yes.
And when you got there, was Michael Proctor the one to direct you to the Lexus SUV?
Yes.
And when you got there on February 1st, that was the first time that you laid eyes on that vehicle, correct?
Yes, it is.
There was no other investigator from the State Police Detectives Unit or the CPAC unit there with the Lexus SUV except for Michael Proctor, correct?
There were other investigators from the Norfolk District Attorney's Office present that morning.
In any case, you had no personal knowledge prior to your arrival of how long Michael Proctor had been with that SUV before you got there, correct?
That's right.
You have no personal knowledge about whether anyone was monitoring Michael Proctor while he was near the vehicle before you got there.
That's correct.
And before you got there, you had no idea how much access Michael Proctor had to that vehicle, right?
Correct.
Your assignment was to take photographs and to process the passenger's compartment in particular for fingerprints.
Correct.
And you did that.
Yes, I did.
Bless you. About a year and a half after that, on July 18th of 2023, you participated in this investigation again, did you not?
Yes, I did.
And that was because, in part, you had now joined the Norfolk CPAC unit, correct?
Correct.
And you participated in an interview of Colin Albert at the Norfolk DA's office, right?
That's right.
You knew at the time that Colin Albert was the nephew of the homeowner, Brian Albert? Yes.
Hold that up. Did you know that at the time?
Could you rephrase the question?
Sure. At the time that you were called in for this interview and told that you would be participating in an interview of Colin Albert, you knew that he was Brian Albert's nephew, correct?
I was advised that prior to the interview, yes.
You conducted that interview along with Michael Proctor, correct?
Correct.
At the time, Michael Proctor was a state trooper in that unit, correct?
Yes, he was.
And you knew he was also the lead investigator on the case, correct?
He was the case officer, yes.
At the time of that interview on July 18th, before you began questioning of Colin Albert, had Michael Proctor revealed to you his connections with the Albert family?
Yes. Sustained.
Reapproach. Did Michael Proctor reveal to you that he and Kevin Albert had socialized together by drinking alcohol in his cruise?
Sustained injuries. I'm going to ask you to strike that question.
I need to hear something.
I will hear you.
Oh my God, I'd
So
love
when
to
you
hear
went
these
with
sidebars.
Michael Proctor to interview Colin Albert, you knew that the case originated on January 29th of 2022?
I was aware of that.
And the date that you conducted that interview was July 18th of 2023?
That's correct.
Did you ever ask Michael Proctor why he waited a year and a half to interview Colin Albert?
I did not.
Once that interview was concluded, one of the two of you had to write a report to document what Colin Albert had told you, correct?
That's correct.
And Michael Proctor, as the lead investigator, was the one to write the report, correct?
Michael Proctor wrote that report.
You did not write it.
Correct.
He chose the language to use in that report, correct?
Correct.
And you weren't standing over him while he was typing it up, correct?
Correct.
And he wrote that report to his supervisor without running every word by you, correct?
That's correct.
Did you ever review that report to check whether it was accurate?
Not before it was published.
And the only other thing I have for you, sir, is you were called to photograph evidence on February 1st. Were you ever asked to go to 34 Fairview Road on February 8th to photograph and document evidence supposedly found on that day?
No, I was not.
Were you ever asked to go to 34 Fairview Road to document any evidence on February 10th?
No, I wasn't.
How about February 11th?
No, sir.
And then on February 18th, nearly 3 weeks after January 29th, did anybody contact you to ask you to come out and photograph and document evidence that was supposedly found 3 weeks later?
Ask it differently, Mr.
Yes.
Kennedy.
Were you called out to 34 Fairview Road on February 18th of 2022 to photograph and document anything?
February 1st was the only date I was called to 34 Fairview, sir.
So the answer to my question is no, correct?
That's correct.
Thank you, sir.
Is there any follow-up, Mr. Lally? Sorry?
No, okay.
All right. you all set.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, folks.
Next, we have Trooper, Trooper Evan Brent. Also, Crime Scene Services.
All right, go right ahead, Mr. Lally.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Could you please state your name and spell your last name for the jury?
My name is Evan Brent, B-R-E-N-T.
And what do you do for work, sir?
I work for the Massachusetts State Police
And how long have you been a trooper with the Massachusetts State Police?
for just under 8 years.
And in what capacity do you currently work with the State Police?
Currently, I am a sergeant and I'm assigned to the Leominster Barracks.
Now, going back to when you initially joined the State Police, did you undergo any training?
Yes, I did.
And could you please describe for the jury, generally speaking, what that training consisted of?
I went to the State Police Academy in New Braintree. I attended the 83rd Recruit Training Troop from August 2017 until January of 2018. And I learned about different topics that you would expect to learn about at an academy, such as criminal law and procedure and motor vehicle law, to name a few.
Now, when you joined the State Police, where were you initially assigned?
I was initially assigned to the Holden Barracks
And how long were you at that barracks?
for about 3 or 4 months.
And where did you go from there?
I went to the Charlton Barracks
And how long were you in Charlton?
for a little over a year.
And then following Charlton, where did you go from there?
I went to a unit called Crime Scene Services.
Now, what specialized training did you receive in relation to that work with the Crime Scene Services Section unit?
New members assigned to crime scene undergo a progressive training program that consists of completing a series of modules, each of which has assigned readings and a written test for each one. It moves on to assisting in the lab and then eventually assisting in the field. There's additional assigned readings, classroom instruction, and it concludes with a series of competency tests that must be passed before you are assigned your own casework.
Now, when you're working for the Crime Scene Services Section, how are assignments, or how are you assigned to a particular case or investigation?
As cases come in, if you're on call, you would own that case if it's your call day, if something comes into the lab or something you need to respond to.
And how long do those on-call periods typically last for?
Typically, when I was there in Maynard, it was 24 hours. So you would own a day starting at 7 in the morning, and it would go all the way until 7 the next morning.
Now, how big of an area does that particular unit, the Crime Scene Services Section, how big of an area does it cover?
The Maynard lab covers somewhere between, I think, 50 and 55 different municipalities.
Now, sir, were you working with the State Police Crime Scene Services Section on February 3rd of 2022?
Yes, I was.
And where were you requested to go on that date?
I was requested to respond to an address in Canton.
And do you recall what that address was?
It was 34 Fairview.
And approximately what time did you arrive at that location on Fairview Road?
It was about 9:45 in the morning.
And who did you meet upon your arrival there?
I met with several members of the State Police Detective Unit for Norfolk County.
And do you recall specifically who those members of the State Police Detective Unit were?
Yes, there was Lieutenant Tully, Sergeant Buchanan, Trooper Proctor, Trooper DeChico, and Trooper Moore.
And when you arrived there, what were you asked to document on that occasion?
There was a search effort digging through some snowbanks that they were looking for some items. They wanted me to document it with photography.
Now, during that search effort, were items located and recovered?
Yes.
Now, can you describe for the jury the process of item recovery that you observed there on that day?
So once an item was excavated, I would be alerted. I would come over. I would document the item in its place. And then one of the detectives would use a gloved hand, and that item would be bagged and documented on the bag.
Was that the same with respect to each item that was photographed by you and then bagged by the State Police Detective Unit?
Yes.
Now, if I could just ask you, if you could expound a little, when you say excavated, what do you mean by that? What did you see being done that day?
They were digging with shovels.
And as far as the items that were recovered, do you recall where they were in relation to the snow pile and the ground itself?
Some were on top of the snow, so there was some significant snow melt. I think that day it was raining out, and it was much warmer than it was the previous 3 days. So some had been revealed by this melted snow, so they were on top. Others were under a foot and a half of snow.
Now, what kind of instruments or tools do you use in addition to your camera when you're photographing items?
So items of interest would be documented with a scale, so that way it would show how big the item is.
And why is it that you use a scale as far as photographs are concerned when it comes to certain items?
Because some of the photos, you wouldn't be able to tell how big the item is or proportionally what it looks like. So it has the scale, it's just a little ruler that shows exactly how big the item is.
Now, sir, upon your completion of documenting the recovery of items at Fairview Road, were you asked to go anywhere else?
Yes, I was.
And where were you asked to go?
I was asked to go to an address 1 Meadows Road.
And who went with you there?
Trooper Proctor.
And once there, what were you asked
I
to
don't remember
document
this
and
guy at
memorialize
all either,
at that secondary
Darth Vader.
location of 1 Meadows Ave?
There was a vehicle in the driveway that he wanted me to document.
And was that a Chevrolet Traverse, is that correct?
Yes.
And were you asked to document anything else with respect to the home adjacent to that driveway?
There was a camera up above the garage that he had pointed out, so I just documented that as well.
You are Mayor Brooks?
Yes.
You're showing me this. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
So what do you recognize that to be?
It's a disc of crime scene photos.
And the photos on that disc are those the photos that you took at each of those respective locations on February 3rd, both 34th Fairview and 1 Meadows Ave.
Yes.
And what's contained on that disc and those photos is that a fair and accurate portrayal of what you observed at each of those respective locations that day.
Yes, it is.
Your Honor, I'll seek introduction in the next exhibit. And as long as that's all that's on that disc, we have no objection.
Okay. Can we need?
Exhibit 135.
And Your Honor, Mayor Brooks, witness again?
Yes.
So I'm handing you a series of 7 photographs. Do you recognize generally what's depicted in those 7 photographs?
Yes.
And in the first 5 of those photographs, is that essentially taking photographs as you walk around the Chevrolet Traverse in the driveway that day?
Yes, that is correct.
And the last 2 were up in the garage doors at 1 Meadows Ave, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And come up and see the difference. Okay.
Exhibit 136.
And Your Honor, with court's permission, may I publish those photographs in relatively short fashion with the jury?
Sure.
Ms. Gilman, if I could have photograph 7749. And Trooper, just briefly, what are we looking at in this photograph?
The front entrance to that address, 1 Meadows.
Ms. Gilman, 7752. And Trooper, same question, what are we looking at here?
That was the vehicle in question.
And if you could, Trooper, just describe sort of perspective-wise, what portion of the vehicle we're looking at in this photograph?
So we're looking at an angle view of a Chevy Traverse, the back of the vehicle, and part of the driver's side.
And Ms. Gilman, 7758. And what part of the vehicle does this depict, Trooper?
The rear of the vehicle.
And Ms. Gilman, 7759. And again, Trooper, what portion of the vehicle in this photograph?
It's going to be an angle view of the rear of the vehicle and the passenger side.
And Ms. Gilman, 7769. And again, Trooper, what portion of the vehicle in this photograph?
This is the front of the vehicle.
And Ms. Gilman, 7771. Again, Trooper, what are we looking at in this photograph?
An angle view of the front of the vehicle and the driver's side.
And Ms. Gilman, if I could have 7777. And again, Trooper, what are we looking at in this photograph?
This is the driver's side rear quarter panel.
And Ms. Gilman, 7791. Now, you also took photographs of the garage doors at 1 Meadows Ave, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And how many garage doors did you observe there that day?
The 2 garage doors.
And which of the 2 is this?
This is going to be the right garage door.
And Ms. Gilman, if I could have 7795. And which of the 2 garage doors is this, Trooper?
This will be the left garage door.
Thank you very much. Ms. Gilman, thank you very much. You can take those down. Now, Trooper Brown, from your observations of those photographs and your observations personally, visually on scene February 3rd at 1 Meadows Ave, what damage did you observe to the garage doors at that residence?
I did not observe any damage to them.
And again, both from your view of those photographs and your in-person visual observations of the Chevy Traverse from all angles on that date of February 3rd, what damage did you observe to that Chevy Traverse?
I observed no visible damage.
Thank you, sir. No further questions, John.
All right. Any questions, Mr. Unetti?
Yes. To be clear, the Chevy Traverse that you photographed at 1 Meadows, you did so on February 3rd of 2022, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you realized at the time that was 5 days prior to the incident in question, which was January 29th of 2022?
5 days after, not prior.
Did I say
I don't
prior?
You did.
know.
Thank you for correcting me, because you're
Hold on,
right.
I'm gonna pause this. Sorry, to interrupt you, Yannetti. I don't know why Lally was chosen for the few witnesses that he did actually question. Have no idea. If anyone does know, please let me know, because I have no clue. Lally barely questioned anyone. I do remember him taking over right after Spanky pulls that stunt with the sweatshirt, the holes in the sweatshirt. But I think that was to, try to take away from him doing that, looking like a complete fool. But other than that, I have no clue, because he only questioned very like almost not non-relevant witnesses in trial too. Most of the time he sat at that desk or table, whatever, looking bored as all hell. The siding, wait, I don't know what. You also wonder if the siding was changed to try to get away from the stigma of all this. The siding of what? Like, I don't get, sorry, I'm not understanding it. Sorry, my brain. Ugh. Maybe anything ABC was done by Lally and the potentially confrontational stuff was done by Hanky. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, the siding of the house. Yeah, they did a lot of weird things after. I have no idea. I can't. I literally don't even have an opinion besides the fact they did a lot of shady shit. And I think most of the shady shit they did was to cover up for themselves. Other than that, I can't even begin to guess.
You were photographing it 5 days after January 29th, correct?
Yes, sir.
And it's fair to say, sir, that your earliest involvement in the case was February 3rd of 2022, correct?
Yes, sir.
So you don't know, and you didn't know at the time, who had access to that traverse during those 5 days, correct?
That is correct.
Now, as of February 3rd of 2022, you, I believe, testified you were part of the crime scene services section of the Massachusetts State Police, correct?
Yes, sir.
You met former Trooper Michael Proctor on February 3rd at 34 Fairview Road in Canton.
Yes, I did.
At the time, did you know you were at the home of a Boston police officer named Brian Albert?
I did not.
And February 3rd was the first and only time that you responded to 34 Fairview Road, correct?
That is correct.
With regard to anything that you saw on the lawn or on the snow that day, you have no personal knowledge as to how any of those items got there, correct?
I do not.
And 5 days after January 29th, you had no personal knowledge at the time of who had access to that front lawn during those 5 days, correct?
That is correct.
You had no information that a guard had ever been posted near that lawn?
Not that I'm aware of.
And when you got there, there was no crime scene tape, correct?
No, there was not.
There was no tent?
No.
Other than the police officers standing there on February 3rd, the lawn was open to anyone who wanted to look at it, just like any other lawn in the street, right?
I'm unaware of that. I don't know.
Now, in terms of your actions that day in documenting the scene with photographs, you did not write a report on.
Don't ever apologize for typos. You know me, I make typos all the time, and now I don't even try to correct them at this point. I get so irritated with my stupid fingers. But yeah, it definitely could be, people that, even the people that buy houses knowing what happened. And I'm surprised that they were able to do that, because I thought you had to disclose when something like that happens in a house or on, house's property. But maybe because they were never formally charged with anything, they didn't have to. Like, I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Once they found out. And like I said, it's just weird that they weren't told beforehand. You don't have to disclose unless it's asked in a lot of areas. Wow. In Michigan, I know it's a law in Michigan. You have to tell any prospective buyers when a crime happens inside the house like that. So I don't know what the exact law is. I don't know like when they have to be informed, but I do know they have to be informed somehow.
What you saw and what you photographed, correct?
I took notes of what I saw and what I photographed.
Michael Proctor was the one to write the report in which he reported that you were the photographer on scene, correct?
I don't know what Michael Proctor did for a report, so I can't testify to that.
Okay, but you didn't write a report.
I wrote a report of what I did, showing up at the scene and taking photos, and then submitting those photos to the Norfolk County Detective Team.
You knew at the time that Michael Proctor was the lead investigator on the case, correct?
Yes, I did.
And with regard to other dates in February, on February 8th of 2022, were you asked to go back to 34th Fairview Road to document and photograph anything found on that day?
I do not believe so, no.
What about February 10th?
No.
February 11th?
Again, my only involvement was on February 3rd.
So that means that on February 18th, nearly 3 weeks after January 29th, you were not asked to go back to 34th Fairview to document or photograph anything on the lawn that day, correct?
Correct.
I have nothing further, sir. Thank you.
Any questions, Mr. Lally?
Very good.
Okay.
Just for clarity, Trooper Brent, you did write a report in relation to your response documentation on February 3rd, 2022, correct?
That is correct.
And you mentioned that you also took notes, is that correct?
That is correct.
And what did those notes entail?
It detailed several items that were collected, my response time, and who else was there on scene.
Now, when you were there on scene, as far as 34 Fairview on February 3rd, what did you observe as far as these, you mentioned that the weather had gotten warmer, some snow had melted. What did you observe specifically as far as the snow accumulation on that front lawn area in the area of the flagpole 34 Fairview? Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained. Sustained.
As far as these items, again, when they were recovered, several of these items were under how much snow?
I would estimate there's one particular item that was about a foot and a half under the snow.
See, that's crazy, Dart. Like, I would never want to end up buying a house like that. I would always ask. For some reason, I would have to know. But thankfully, I think, like I said here, well, I'm never going to buy a house, but I'm pretty sure they have to forewarn people about that kind of stuff before they make a purchase. And I think that should be like that everywhere.
Nothing further. Nothing on that.
All right. All right, Trooper, you are all set, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, all set. Okay, so next one, like I said, these are pretty quick, thankfully. Next one is
Good afternoon.
the longest one.
You consider stand wherever you're comfortable. Please keep your
I forget her name. Hold on.
voice up, okay? Whenever you're ready, Mr. Brennan.
Maureen
Thank you.
Hartnett.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Could you please introduce yourself to the jury and offer the spelling of your last name?
My name is Maureen Hartnett, Hartnett.
Could you tell us where you presently work?
I work at the Massachusetts State Police Crime Laboratory.
Before you began working at the Massachusetts State Police Crime Laboratory, did you receive any education, any further schooling after high school?
Yes, I did.
Could you share that with us?
I have a bachelor's degree in biology from Bridgewater State University and a master's degree in forensic science from the University of New Haven.
After you graduated with your master's, did you begin working at the crime laboratory or did you work somewhere else before?
I began working at the Massachusetts State Police Crime Laboratory.
How long have you worked at the Massachusetts State Police Crime Laboratory for?
I've worked there in total approximately 9 years.
Can you give us a basic understanding of how the crime laboratory you work at is broken down, the different departments and what you do?
There are various units within the laboratory. There is the criminalistics unit, which is the unit I work for, the DNA unit, the Office of Alcohol Testing, the Arson and Trace unit, and each of those units is comprised of civilian workers. And there's also portions of the laboratory that are made up of sworn or troopers that work for Crime Scene Services section, as well as the Firearms Identification section.
Would you consider your role a civilian worker or are you a Massachusetts State Police trooper?
I'm a civilian worker.
You mentioned that one of the departments that you work in is the criminalist unit.
The criminalistics unit.
Could you give us a little more detail about what the unit does?
In the criminalistics unit, we examine items of evidence for the possible presence of biological fluids. We conduct trace identification, damage analysis, as well as gunshot residue collections on evidence.
Do different employees do different things in that unit, or do all the employees, are they trained to conduct all of those different types of testing?
There are specific types of analysis that only certain members of the unit will conduct based on the fact that those types of analysis are not requested very often.
Is the unit broken down by level of experience? Are there different roles within the unit based on experience?
Yes, there are.
Could you explain that, how it's broken down, the structure of it for us?
Generally, a training analyst will be a forensic scientist 1, which means they're in training and they're not performing any type of independent casework. Once an analyst is authorized to perform independent casework, they are then a forensic scientist 2. And then above them would be their supervisors, which are forensic scientists 3. And that is specific to the unit. And then as the chain of command goes up, there are additional levels as well.
Do you have a particular level that you've achieved?
I got
Currently, I'm a
it.
forensic scientist 2 in the criminalistics unit and crime scene response unit.
In addition to your education and your master's degree, do you receive any specific training when you enter the unit?
Yes, every analyst will receive generally the same training when they enter the unit. It is written in our protocol, so it's standardized, and that is completed once they enter the unit. It takes approximately 9 to 12 months to complete that training.
Is there any ongoing training involved when you work in the criminals unit?
Yes, as a part of our accreditation, we also receive ongoing education yearly.
Oh,
You
that's
mentioned
so
accreditation. Can you
sad,
briefly tell the
Dar.
jury what that means as it
Aw.
relates to the unit and the lab?
Accreditation is a voluntary quality assurance program that the laboratory is a part of. And basically their role is to ensure that our protocols, our procedures, our equipment, and our personnel are held to, are held to a certain level based in the scientific community.
In your role, do you do all of your testing at the office or in the lab?
As part of the crime scene response unit, I will respond to crime scenes and I will perform some testing and collection at crime scenes as well.
How long have you been involved in the crime scene response unit?
I've been involved with the crime scene response unit the same amount of time I've been in the criminalistics unit, which is approximately a total of 9 years.
As part of crime scene response, do you actively go to an ongoing developing scene, or do you arrive somewhere after the event?
It depends on the circumstances. Oftentimes we are called out to a scene directly after the incident takes place. There are times when we also will examine additional items or additional scenes after the fact.
How many scenes have you responded to as far as crime scene response where you were the person who was in charge?
I would say approximately 300.
When you are asked to or assigned to go to a scene, a crime scene, whether it's active or whether it's later in time, do you make an assessment when you get there, or is there a plan developed before you leave your office and get to the scene?
I'm sorry, can you be more specific?
Sure. How do you decide what you're going to do before you get there?
Generally, when I arrive on scene, I get a brief description of what they think may have occurred. Of course. I will take an overall sketch and diagram of the scene, and I also take some notes of the scene before I perform any type of testing or collection.
When you arrive at a scene and you start engaging in an analysis and determine whether you want to do testing, are you allowed to use your own independent judgment?
Yes, I use my training and experience to determine what items I would like to test and what items I would like to collect.
Is there ever any input by whatever law enforcement team or officer is at the response scene?
Yes, there is.
You mentioned that you've been to a number of crime scene responses. I want to ask you specifically about a response on February 2nd, 2022. Do you remember that?
May I check the date on that?
With the court's permission, please.
Yes.
So I responded to a crime scene on February 1st of 2022.
My apologies. Where did you go on February 1st, 2022?
I was dispatched to the Canton Police Station in their garage area.
When you went to the Canton Police Department, did anybody else from your lab go with you?
There was a crime scene services trooper that also responded at the same time, but there was no additional crime scene responder from my unit that responded.
Did you arrive at the Canton Police Department?
Yes, I did.
Is there a garage that you were directed to?
Yes, I was.
When you arrived at the garage, which sometimes may be referred to as a Sally Port area, were there any other people there when you arrived?
There were Massachusetts State Police troopers as well as some Canton police officers.
Did you know who they were?
I did know who the Massachusetts State Police trooper was, yes.
Was Michael Proctor there?
Yes, he was.
Was Trooper Dunn there?
Yes, he was.
Was Trooper Clark there?
Yes.
You mentioned Canton Police Department officers. Do you know Lieutenant Gallagher?
Yes, I did have an interaction with Lieutenant Gallagher as well.
When you got there, did you have a chance to look at an item?
Yes.
Tell us what your focus was on. What type of item?
I was asked to examine a black Lexus SUV.
And was there a black Lexus SUV?
Yes.
As you were observing and making, analyzing the item, did you see whether anybody was taking photographs?
Yes.
When there's a person taking photographs, do you ever have any input or direct them, or do they do that totally independent of you?
After they're done doing what they're required to do, I will ask them to take specific photographs because I do not perform that function at a crime scene.
When you first arrived, did you have a chance to walk around the vehicle?
Yes, I did.
Did you observe the vehicle from standing behind it, looking at the back of it?
Yes, I did.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
I'm handing you a document. Do you recognize that?
Yes, I do.
And what is it?
This is the rear of the black Lexus SUV.
Is that photograph, is it appear to be simply accurate with what you saw that day?
Yes, it is.
Is it a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw?
Yes.
May I approach again?
Yes.
I would move this together, please. No objection, Your Honor. With the court's permission, I'd like to show P145.
Okay.
Ms. Hartnett, is that what you saw when you arrived?
Yes, it is.
Did anything stand out to you when you first looked at the back of that Lexus?
I noticed
It's okay, Darvader. I do the typos, like I said, all the time. And yes, of course I will. Yeah, I heard I wasn't in the chat, but I was listening to him this morning. I couldn't chat because I knew listening to his topic, and if I would have talked about my mom, I would have started crying too. And yeah. Baker, so he's got such a big heart, and he's just awesome.
if there was some damage to the rear passenger area of the vehicle.
Did you have a chance to walk around and look at the vehicle from the driver's side of the vehicle, the left side?
Yes.
May I approach?
Yes.
I'm showing you a photograph. Do you recognize what's in that photograph?
Yes.
What is it?
This is the driver's side of the Lexus.
Did the Lexus appear to you the same as it does in that photograph?
Yes.
Is that a fair and accurate picture?
Yes.
All right, move this into evidence, please. No objection, Your Honor.
Exhibit 139.
With the court's permission, I'd ask to show the jury P144. Can you describe what you saw there?
Yes. So this is the driver's side of the black Lexus.
Thank you. You can take that down. Did you get a closer look from the right side of the Lexus to pay detail or attention to what you described from the back view that stood out to you?
Are you referring to the damaged area?
I am.
Yes. So I did take notes of that area, and as well as had additional photographs taken of that area.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
I'm showing you a photograph. Do you recognize it?
Yes.
What is it?
This is a close-up photograph of the rear passenger side tail light area.
Does that photo depict what you saw that day?
Yes, it does.
Is it a fair and accurate picture?
Yes.
With the court's permission, I'd like to use that as exhibit. No objection, Your Honor.
Exhibit 140.
May I show it to the jury, Your Honor?
Yes.
P161, please. Can you describe what you saw?
Yes, that is the rear passenger tail light of the vehicle.
Is that how it appeared when you first walked in that day?
Yes, it is.
I wish you could
When
go
you examine
far.
an item like a car, do you take any type of efforts to protect from
I'm
contamination?
still hoping I can go.
Yes.
It's not
What do you do?
100%.
Before processing or touching any
As
item
long
of
as
evidence,
I
I'll put on gloves. I
somehow
use disposable
come up
instruments
with
whenever
enough
possible,
money.
or if I need to use reusable instruments, I will spray them with a 10% bleach solution prior to use. I also change gloves often while I'm examining the vehicle and keep my notes and my pens that I'm writing my notes with. I don't put on gloves when I touch those, and then when I go back to examine the vehicle, I will then re-put on gloves to protect the evidence.
If you see something of note, something that stands out to you, do you have any way of marking the item?
Yes, I take diagrams at the scene and note on my diagrams anything of note. And as I had said, if there's anything that I also want close-up photographs, then I will request the crime scene services trooper who's assigned to crime scene to take those photographs.
Do you ever put any type of markers on the item itself?
Yes, generally I will mark the items with either a letter or a number so that I'm able to refer back to them both in my notes, and I'm able to refer to them when I look at the photos.
When you mark different items or observations that you make, do you give a specific number to each item for to memorialize it?
Yes, I will either use a lettering system or a numbering system.
And how do you memorialize it? Do you put it in writing?
Yes.
What do you do?
On my diagram, I will refer to something, for example, as letter A, and then I'll also mark that item using a marker on the item of evidence with the same letter so that I can connect and associate the photograph with my notes and anything that I collect as well.
In addition to the broken taillight that we just looked at, did you make observation of any other things? And I'm just asking generally, not asking you to specify.
Yes.
Were there other things that stood out to you?
Yes.
Did you take any swabs, any big swabs from as far as trace for blood?
I screened for blood on various areas of the undercarriage of the vehicle.
And what was the results?
Those were negative.
What does negative mean?
It means that there was no blood present in that area, or if there was, it was below the level of detection of our test.
Did you make any observations where you saw items or marks of interest?
Yes.
I want to ask you about any observations you made of the back bumper. Was there anything significant that you saw relative to the back bumper of that vehicle?
Yes.
And share with us what you saw.
There were scratches on the bumper as well as apparent pieces of glass on the bumper.
When you saw what you believe to be pieces of glass on the back bumper, what is the process you follow?
I gave those an identifying letter. I noted those items in my diagram, and then I eventually collected those items.
How do you collect them?
I would have used either disposable tweezers or tweezers that were cleaned with a 10% bleach solution.
After you collect the items, for example, glass on the back bumper, what do you do with that?
In that moment or later on?
Take us through from the moment you have it till the end.
So I would put those pieces of glass into a glassine envelope, which are then packaged in a larger manila envelope. They are sealed and dated and initialed with my dates and initials. Eventually, when I return to the lab, those pieces are given an item number and then secured in our cold room.
Is each piece of evidence given a separate item number?
Yes.
As far as the entire case, your entire response, not the separate pieces of evidence you may find, is it assigned a particular number or a case number?
Yes, each case will get a larger case number, and then each item within that case gets an individual item number, so that item can be tracked throughout the lab.
Do you remember from your memory what the case number of this investigation as far as your response was?
Yes.
Could you share that with us?
The case number assigned to this in the laboratory information system was 22-2184.
I want to go back to the glass on the bumper. May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
I'm showing you a photograph.
it's okay, Dar. I'm just going to leave it at 1.5. She is, I know no one's in today. I think no one's interested in this testimony. That's okay. I'm just going to hang out and finish at 1.5 with this Maureen Hartnett because after her is Shannon Burgess. So definitely interested into getting that one. And Dar, I know you said you were tired. If you want to take a nap, feel free. I'm just hanging out today. And we had a great chat today with everyone that was in here earlier. So don't feel bad if you don't chat. I'm gonna just sit here, watch this. I like to play on my little game when no one's chatting with me either. So, and if I fall asleep, hell, I fall asleep. So here we go. Just science, science, science. Yeah. Burgess is funny. Yeah. And then, yeah, after him is Aperture. So definitely got some good ones coming up. I'm looking forward to those. We can listen to Welcher talk about throwing his or spreading his load as much as I don't want to hear it. It's funny. Anyways. I love when you guys chat, and I don't feel, don't feel bad if you can't, honey. It's totally okay. So never feel bad about that, sweetie. Just appreciate you being here and giving me the view. Yeah, gross, but still funny. Exactly.
Recognize in the photograph?
Yes, I do.
Is that a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw that day?
Yes.
And could you generally describe what you see?
This is a close-up photograph of the apparent glass on the bumper of the vehicle.
Can we listen to evidence, please?
No objection, Your Honor.
Court permission, I'd like to show P167 to the jury.
Okay.
There are 2 pointers in front of you. Would you mind pointing out for the jury what stood out to you? And this one, can we get a little bit of a close-up on that bumper, please?
So I can see one of it's a little difficult to see, but I do see one of the larger pieces of apparent glass right here. Would it be better if I use this one?
Could you? Do you mind?
So this piece here is a larger apparent piece of glass. I think that was the largest one that I saw.
And those 2 white stickers, could you tell us what those are?
This sticker, this sticker here is marking where the apparent pieces of glass are.
Is there another sticker above, or is that?
I'm not sure. If you could close up, I'm not sure what that is. Yes, so that is another sticker, and next to that sticker are additional pieces of glass.
Those items to the right of that picture, are those pieces of glass?
Yes, I would say that's an apparent piece of glass here, and this one.
Can we just go down to the bottom part again, please? Thank you, Ms. Gilman. Take that down. Did you collect what appeared to be items of glass?
Yeah,
Yes, I
don't ever feel bad, Darb. You don't
Did
feel
were they
good to
assign a particular
chat.
number?
It's
Yes.
totally
Do you know that
okay.
number?
And I know you're always here, sweetie.
Yes.
Thank you.
Please.
Those items were given the item number 3-3.
Did you focus on the right rear side of the vehicle beyond the broken taillight?
Yes.
Did you notice any damage, any scratches to the right quarter panel or the right side of that Lexus?
Yes, I did. I noticed some scratches as well as a dent in the rear door in that same area.
Let's start with the scratches first. When you notice scratches, is there a way you marked them?
Yes, I would have given them a letter.
And did you do that?
Yes.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
From your photograph, do you recognize that photograph?
Yes, I do.
Do you recognize what's in that photograph?
Yes.
What is it?
It is a close-up photograph of one of the scratches on the right rear area of the vehicle.
Is that a fair and accurate representation of what you saw that day?
Yes.
All right, move this into evidence, please.
No objection, Your Honor.
Is it 142?
With the court's permission, I'd like to show the jury P172. Could we close up just a little more, Ms. Gilman? Thank you. Starting at the bottom, what is that, ma'am?
That is a close-up of the scratches that I noted in that area.
Could you zoom out again, please, Ms. Gilman? Is that on the back bumper or the right quarter panel?
I believe it's on the right bumper. It's a little difficult to make out in that photo.
Could you zoom in again and move up just a little higher, Ms. Gilman? Thank you. You have another sticker on the top?
Yes, I do.
Do you know what that is?
Yes, I do.
What is that?
That is an apparent hair that I noted in that area.
So that doesn't designate a scratch. That's something entirely separate and different.
That's something different, correct?
We'll get to that later. I just wanted to point out that it's not a scratch. Now, you mentioned that you saw a scratch. Was it a singular scratch or a number of scratches? Could you zoom in, please, Ms. Gilman?
It was a couple of scratches.
Is there a number you designate if it's not a physical item, if it's something like a scratch, or the designations just for actual physical items?
I use the designation for both observations as well as physical items.
Would there be a number for the scratches?
Yes, well, there's a letter, yes.
Do you know what that letter is?
Yes, I believe it's D.
D. Thank you. Take that down, please, Ms. Gilman. May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
I'm showing you another photograph. Do you recognize what's in that photograph?
Yes.
What is it?
That is damage that I noted on the rear trunk door of the vehicle.
Is that a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw?
Yes.
When you say damage, what type of damage did you notice?
There was some scratches as well as a dent.
I'd like to move this.
No objection, Your Honor.
Is it 143?
With the court's permission, I'd like to show the jury P176. Can you zoom in just a little bit more, please? You told us that you saw both dent and scratches. Starting with the scratches with the pointer on the TV to your right, could you show us?
If you need to take a nap, Darth take one,
Some
sweetie.
scratches are up above, and then down here there's chip paint and a dent.
And what, could we zoom in a little more if we could, Ms. Goodman, please? Can you see in this photograph the dent that you saw?
Yes, I was referring to this area here as a dent in my observations.
Thank you. Can you take that down, please?
You know, I brought this up. It's funny because when I was talking about the movie Clue, and that's why I tell people that the name came from my favorite movie and game, and not Gone with the Wind. And yes, Miss Scarlet is red, but I don't look good in red. Red's never been a favorite color of mine. Purple is my favorite color. But if I wanted to go with the Clue theme, purple is Professor Plum. And I didn't want to go with that. So, you know what? It's Miss Scarlet and purple. It's okay. But I do appreciate it. That it should probably be red. And considering Scarlet is a name of a red color.
You mentioned the hair. I'm going to answer some questions. How many pieces of hair did you find attached to that Lexus?
I found one apparent piece of hair on the Lexus.
Was there a designation number for the hair that you found?
Yes.
Do you remember what that number is?
I used the letter A for that particular item.
Did you say letter A, ma'am?
Yes, correct.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
I want to show you two photographs. You take a look at the first photograph, please. Do you recognize that picture?
Yes, I do.
And what's in that photograph?
This is a photograph of the apparent piece of hair I noted on the rear area.
Is that a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw that day?
Yes.
Turn to the second photograph. Do you recognize what's in that photograph?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
This is an additional photo of the apparent hair on the vehicle.
Both photographs of the same piece of hair?
Yes.
And the second photograph, is that a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw?
Yes.
I'd like to move these two photographs of evidence, please. No objection, Your Honor.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you, Darth. I'm glad I could give you a chuckle. You're not the only one.
With the court's permission, I'd like to show P173 to the jury. If you could get in as close as possible, Ms. Gilman. Do you recognize what's in that photograph?
Yes, I do.
And can you share with us what you saw?
This is a close-up photo of the apparent piece of hair on the rear of the vehicle.
What did you do when you saw that, what you thought to be a piece of hair?
I marked it with the tape. I designated it as letter A, and then I asked the crime scene services trooper to take a photograph of it.
Did you try to preserve it in any way?
Yes, I did.
Tell us how you preserved that apparent piece of hair.
I collected that hair with either disposable tweezers or tweezers that had been bleached with a 10% bleach solution. I put them in a glassine envelope and then put them in a larger manila envelope. In a larger
My
manila envelope.
mom's
What
favorite
happens to that
color.
large manila envelope?
It is returned back to the lab. It is submitted under the same case number and given its own individual item number.
Did you bring it personally back to the lab?
Yes, I did.
When you brought it back to the lab, do you remember where you brought it when you got back to the lab?
After it was entered into the computer system, I then sealed it, I initialed and dated it, and then I would transfer it to the crime scene response holding area in our cold storage room.
When you pass it along, is it to protect it in evidence, or is it for purpose of further testing?
At that point, it's just to store it in evidence, and then it will make its way into whatever unit needs the piece of evidence first.
And you did all that with that piece of evidence?
Yes, I did.
I'd like to show the second photograph that you identified. It was P165. Do you recognize that photo?
Yes, I do.
What do you recognize that to be?
That's an additional photo of the apparent piece of hair on the rear of the vehicle.
And the two different photos, are they taken from the exact same angle?
I believe they're taken from slightly different angles.
And the hair is, could you point that out with the pointer of the hair that you found?
This here is the apparent hair.
If you can take that down, please. Regarding the damage to the broken taillight, did you have any interest in maintaining that piece of evidence?
Yes, I did.
What did you want to do?
I wanted to collect the entire taillight housing.
Why did you want to do that?
If there were pieces from the taillight that could be later matched to the taillight, I needed the entire housing to be processed at the lab.
Did you make efforts to try to maintain or remove or preserve that entire taillight housing?
Yes, I did.
What's a taillight housing?
Excuse me?
What is a taillight housing?
I'm referring to the entire piece, including the back, the glass covering, the light bulb inside. So it's in the entire unit.
Did you attempt to remove that entire unit yourself?
I did.
Were you successful?
No, I was not.
So what did you do?
A Canton police officer that was in the Sally Port at the time offered to help disconnect it with some tools that he had.
Have you ever seen whether there's video that memorialized that entire event?
Yes, there is.
Have you ever watched that video?
Yes, I did.
Does that video show you attempting to remove the housing and then receiving assistance from somebody?
Yes.
When that housing was removed, what happened to it?
I then placed it in a box. I believe I placed it in a paper bag in a box, and then once I brought it back.
Kids use and make the most fun things when they're little, don't they? They can make a fort out of anything. Oh, that's so cute. Aw. That's a cute story, Dar. I'm sure he loved though explaining to her how he got to build his own fort out of a big old box. That's so cool.
Back to lab, I added additional cushion with additional paper to protect it from any further damage.
Were you going to keep that housing, or were you going to put that in evidence for other reasons?
That was put into evidence storage for the time being.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Show you a photograph. Do you recognize what's in that photograph?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
This is a photograph I took of the taillight housing back at the laboratory upon examination.
Is that in potentially the same condition as when you saw it?
Yes.
Any differences whatsoever from when you saw it?
Not that I noticed, no.
Is that photograph very accurate of what you saw that day?
Yes.
Move this photograph to evidence. No objection, Your Honor. With court's permission, I'd show photograph P187 to the jury, please.
Okay.
Could you tell us what that is?
That is a photo that I took of the taillight housing at the laboratory.
And that's after it's obviously removed from the vehicle.
Yes, that's correct.
And that was packaged and preserved?
Yes.
You can take that down, please. Do you have the actual item, the actual housing with you?
I believe it is here, yes.
With the court's permission, I'd ask the witness to be able to open the item, show it to the jury, and then I would move it into evidence.
Okay.
Thank you. If you would you please remove the item from that box?
Yes.
Oh my God, Dar. I can't believe that. It's crazy. Aw.
You could hold that so the jury can see it. Hold it up high, please. Thank you. Thank you very much. You could return that to the box. I would move this item into evidence, please. No objection, Your Honor.
There are additional items in that box as
Oh,
well.
I only want to use that one item.
Okay, so in your bag, you need to take that bag. There are also other items in that bag.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Actually, can we go lunches, please? All right, sure, the lunch isn't here, so this is like the time to take a break. We'll see you in 15 minutes.
Questions and attempting to introduce the taillight housing. Do you remember that?
Yes,
And you mentioned there were a number of items in that bag.
that's correct.
And during that break, did we have a chance to look inside the bag,
Yes,
accompanied by counsel for the defense?
yes.
When items are stored in a bag, is it common for them to be transferred to other locations other than your evidence locker?
I'm sorry, can you rephrase that?
Sure.
Commissioner?
When you store a piece of evidence in an evidence bag and you put it in the evidence locker for safekeeping, does the evidence sometimes travel to other places?
Yes,
If it's tested for other types of information, maybe DNA or biological fluids, can that item be transferred to another department?
yes,
Is sometimes that item brought back and forth to court for other proceedings?
yes.
And do you know if this item has been on different travels over time?
I do know that it went into several different units within the laboratory, yes.
When you opened up the bag and you said the housing was in that bag, the other items that were in the bag, do you know when they were put in there?
No, I do not.
Do they appear to be pieces that are consistent with the taillight housing?
I can't testify to whether or not they're consistent.
When you saw the pieces, do you know whether or not any of the pieces broke off that taillight housing?
I do not know.
The taillight housing, did it have any loose pieces when you first retrieved it from the Canton Police Department?
No, it did not. It had missing pieces, but nothing was loose on the taillight housing itself at the time that I collected it.
And the loose pieces on the bottom of that bag, they were in the bag when you opened it this morning?
Yes, that's correct.
The loose pieces, last time you had an opportunity to open that bag was how long ago?
The only time I opened that, the packaging for the taillight housing was in the laboratory when I first examined it in 2023.
And do you have any indication this has passed many hands or hands since then?
I do know that that item went to the trace unit after I examined it.
Those loose pieces in the bottom of the bag, I'm going to ask you to keep them with the taillight housing.
Okay.
And I'm going to move that piece of evidence. Take evidence. Let me have one moment. One last question. When a bag is opened by somebody who's examining it, if there are small loose pieces accompanying the item, is it ever packaged in separate baggies or containers?
In the criminalistic unit, so I can only speak for myself in my individual examination, if there are loose items within the item that's packaged with it, I would separate it and potentially separate into a smaller package and put it inside the larger container so that it doesn't get lost.
In addition to the loose pieces in the bottom of that bag, do you see separate small containers of packaging of smaller pieces?
Yes, there were 2 smaller containers within that larger bag.
And those smaller packages that are separate from the actual larger item, did you put smaller pieces in those small bags?
I did not do that.
It was done by somebody other than you.
At some point, yes.
I now move to introduce that into evidence.
No objection, subject to the explanation and cross-examination now.
Okay.
Could you present that?
Yes. Yes.
And you can keep the gloves on. I just want to be able to show the small.
Oh, okay. I was going to
After it's small.
Sure.
Exhibit 146.
You've already showed us the housing. Can you show us some of the small pieces in the bottom of the bag and also the small separate packaging that you did not package?
Yes.
Thank you. Could you explain what those are?
These are 2 small glassine envelopes that were in the container.
Any markings on those envelopes?
Yes. Would you like me to read them?
Please.
Some of it is illegible to me. I didn't write it. I'm sorry. It appears to be at least the second half of the case number. It's possible that's 22-02184. 3-1 pieces E, G, I'm not sure if it's an M or an H, I, S, K. This also has a case number 22-02184. 3-1 assorted small pieces.
Thank you. And was there any pieces that weren't packaged other than the housing in that bag?
Yes.
Hey, could you show us, please?
This item was also located in the bag. And these 2 items were also located in the bag.
Thank you very much. May I approach?
Yes.
I'll take that. When you brought the taillight housing back to the lab, did you take it out of the bag and do anything with it?
Yes, during my examination, I did remove it from the bag to look at it.
When you, after you looked at it or during your observations, did you take any samples from it?
Yes, I did.
Explain to us what you did.
I took a polyester swab. I moistened it with sterile water, and then I applied that swab to the external front areas of the taillight.
Why did you do that?
My goal was to collect any potential biological material that was present on the exterior of the taillight.
Did you engage in that procedure pursuant to your training and experience?
Yes, I did.
If we could have former P187 back on the screen, which is now an exhibit. Could you use the pointer and the television to your right? Could you show us or show the jury where you took a swab, what areas?
Yes.
Thank you.
So I took my collection from this upper right-hand corner, the red apparent plastic, as well from this area down here, another piece of red plastic, and then these clear apparent plastic here on the front of the taillight housing. Basically, any areas that would have been exposed when the taillight was intact.
Why do you take the swab and go to multiple different parts of an item?
The goal of this collection was just to determine if there's any biological material in that area, and there's no forensic relevance related to if it came from the upper right or the lower left. I took that collection as a whole, and in addition, there was a very small surface area to begin with.
When you took the swab, did you run it along the breaks in the red part?
Like the edges here?
Yes, the edges.
It's possible, yes, that I collected from those edges.
Do you have a memory of what parts you actually swabbed?
I remember swabbing the external areas of the taillight, those that would have been on the outside prior to any damage being done.
Okay. Thank you. You can take that down, please. After you engage in the procedure of taking a swab, what do you do to preserve that swab?
That swab is air dried. It's then repackaged in a small glassine envelope. A portion of the swab is also put in a clear plastic tube, which is sent forward to the DNA unit.
Did you do that?
Yes, I did.
Why do you go through that type of procedure? Why do you take that many steps?
I'm sorry, may I correct my answer from the last question?
Please.
My apologies. So in this particular instance, the entire swab was cut up and put into plastic tubes for further testing.
Why did you do it that way?
This item was quantity limited. The swab itself was quantity limited, meaning that they'd have to use up the whole swab in order to run DNA analysis.
Did you do DNA analysis on the swab?
No, I did not.
Why not?
I don't work in the DNA unit, so that is the job of a different analyst.
And at some point, did you take that item that had been preserved and put it into evidence?
Yes, I did.
Were you shown a bag full of red plastic cups with an item in it when you were at the Canton Police Department?
Yes, I was.
Could we have exhibit 56, please? Thank you. This is a photograph that's been marked as an exhibit. Do you recognize what's in that exhibit?
Yes, I do.
And what is it?
Those are 6 red plastic cups that contained frozen red-brown stains.
Did you do anything relative to the content of those cups?
I took a collection from one of the cups using 2 sterile cotton swabs.
Can you just briefly explain what that process entails?
Yes. I allowed the frozen red-brown stains to thaw. I applied sterile water to 2 cotton swabs, and then I applied it to one of the red-brown stained cups to collect the material from inside.
How do you preserve and maintain the integrity of whatever sample you collect?
That sample is then entered into a glassine envelope, a large aluminum envelope. It is then sealed with my initials and date. It is given an independent item number and stored within the proper unit within the lab.
You take that down. Thank you. At some point, did you look at clothing?
Yes, I did.
Where did you look at clothing?
I examined the clothing from this case at the Massachusetts State Police Crime Laboratory.
Was the items brought to the crime laboratory?
Yes, they were.
Did you have a chance to unpackage them?
Yes, I did.
When you received them, how were they stored?
They were stored in brown paper bags and potentially boxes. I don't remember off the top of my head.
And did you look at a number of different items of clothing?
Yes, I did.
Can I approach one?
Yes.
I'm going to show you a series of 4 photographs that I asked you about each one of them individually. You recognize the first photograph?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
This is a photograph I took of a gray sweatshirt.
Is that photograph after the sweatshirt is clear to you? You looked at it?
Yes, it does.
You looked at the second photograph. Do you recognize what's in that photograph?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
This is an additional photograph of the front of the gray sweatshirt where I had put some markings on the sweatshirt.
Why did you put markings on the sweatshirt?
These markings specifically are noting areas of damage.
Third photograph, please. Do you recognize what's in that photograph?
Yes, I do.
And what's in that photograph?
This is a close-up photo of the area of damage that I denoted as 1.
And a fourth photograph, please. Do you recognize that photograph?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
This is a close-up of area damage 1.
Is that a fair and accurate depiction of what you saw that day when you examined this particular item?
Yes.
Can I move these 4 photographs into evidence?
Did you see them quickly?
With the court's permission, could we please show former P-190 to the jury?
Yes.
Is that one of the photographs you just recognized?
Yes, it is.
And could you explain to us what you see?
This is the exterior front of the gray sweatshirt. There is linear damage between the top and bottom of the sweatshirt, as well as linear damage across each sleeve of the sweatshirt.
Do you see the cut down the front of that sweatshirt?
Yes.
Did you distinguish that cut as any different than the damage on the arm?
I did not do any damage analysis on that particular area of damage.
Why not?
Typically, in these type of events, you'll see those types of damage associated with clothing being removed from emerging medical technicians, so they're not forensically relevant.
Thank you. If we could turn now to former P-194. Is this the same sweatshirt?
Yes, it is.
There's a little bit of difference. There's markings or tabs on it.
Yes, that's correct.
What are you doing there?
I put tabs on each of the areas of damage on the sleeve and 2 on the chest that I was going to examine further.
When you put the tabs on, do you write a report or mark it in any way to memorialize it in case the tabs fall off?
Yes, in this case, they were marked tabs 1 through 9. Those are not permanent on the sweatshirt. They're actually just pieces of filter paper that I used to mark it.
Could we, Ms. Gilman, zoom in on that right arm, please? Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. What is written on those tabs?
Each tab has a number on it that corresponds with an area of damage that I examined.
And when you write a report, when you memorialize it, it's keep an accounting of each?
Yes, that's correct.
If we could turn now to former P-196, which is 147C. What does that depict there?
That is a close-up of the area of damage 1 that I did further examination on.
Could we zoom in a little bit on the circle part? Is that a fair and accurate depiction of what it looked like when you examined it?
Yes, it is.
And finally, if we could have P-197, which is exhibit 147D. What are you doing there?
That's a close-up photo of that same area of damage 1 with a scale included.
We just saw a close-up of one of the holes that was marked number 1. Did you do the same analysis for each and every one of those areas that you marked?
Yes, I did.
And did you look close up at each and every one of them and measure each and every one of them?
Yes, I did.
Are there photographs showing all of those different angles for each and every hole that you went through?
Yes, I took numerous photographs of each area of damage.
You could take that down, please. In addition to that sweatshirt, did you look at any other clothing items?
Yes, I did.
I'm showing you 2 photographs. Can you look at the first one? Do you recognize what's in that photograph?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
This is item 7-17. It's an orange t-shirt.
Is it fair? Thank you. Is that a fair and accurate depiction of the t-shirt when you examined it?
Yes, it is.
And the second photograph, please take a look.
Yes.
Do you recognize what's in that?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
This is the other side of the orange t-shirt.
Is that a fair and accurate depiction of the t-shirt when you examined it?
Yes, it is.
All right, move these 2 photographs to evidence, please. No objection, Your Honor. With the court's permission, I'd like to show P-232 to the jury.
Okay.
Could you tell us what you see?
That is a photograph of item 7-17. It's the back of the orange t-shirt.
Could we zoom a little in on the numbers on the bottom, Ms. Gilman? What's that on the bottom?
That is the case number, the individual item number for that t-shirt, my initials, and the date that I examined it, or the date that I took the photo.
So you had obtained this item on that date, or this is when you examined it and already had it?
That is the date that I opened it up, examined it, and took the photo.
And on the left, what's that ruler used for?
That's a scale just to show the size of the item.
Could we zoom back out and get a full look at that? Thank you. If you could turn next to P233, Ms. Gilman. What is that a photograph of?
That is a photograph of the front of the orange t-shirt, item 7-17.
Ms. Gilman, can we first see the bottom left-hand corner? Zoomed in a little bit. Thank you. Why did you place a marker there?
I used markers on this item to note areas of staining that I was going to do further analysis on.
Did you do further analysis of that stain area?
Yes, I did.
How did you do that? Any different than the swab you talked about before?
This I screened for blood, and I'd have to check my notes for any further testing I did on it.
When you screened it for blood, was it a positive or negative result?
That was positive.
Do you know if you did anything further with it?
May I check my notes?
With the court's permission? Thank you.
You turn the lights off, please.
Please.
Yes, I also performed a confirmatory test for blood on that stain.
So what's the difference between a preliminary and a confirmatory test?
A screening test, other types of materials may cause a positive reaction. For the confirmatory test, it is confirmatory for blood, as well as it indicates human blood, although you might get a positive reaction from primate blood or ferret blood.
Can we now turn to the top right and zoom in, if you would? We see 3 tabs there. What are you looking for in those areas?
Those are 3 additional red-brown stains that I performed further testing on.
Did you have the results of that testing?
So I performed a screening test on each of those tests, and each of those screening tests was positive. I performed a confirmatory test on stains A and C, which were also positive. I did not perform that test on stain B due to its small size.
If you could zoom out just a little bit, please. Similar to the sweatshirt, there's long cuts through the front of that t-shirt. Is your analysis and opinion any different than the similar cuts that you saw on the sweatshirt?
Yes, I did not perform any additional analysis on those area of damage due to the fact that they're most likely attributed to the emergency medical technicians or medical personnel removing that item of clothing.
Thank you. You can take that down, please, Ms. Gilman. And for the final piece of clothing, did you have a chance to look at pants?
I did look at a pair of jeans, yes.
May I put your honor?
Yes.
I handed you 2 photographs. The first one, you recognize it?
Yes, I do.
And what is it?
This is a photograph of the front of the pair of jeans, item 7-1.
Could you have the second photograph, please? Do you recognize it or not?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
This is a photograph of the back of the pair of jeans, item 7-1.
Do both of those photographs fairly depict what you saw when you examined the clothing?
Yes, I do.
And move these things to evidence, please.
No objection, Your Honor.
With the court's permission, I'd show P242, which is 149A, to the jury.
Okay.
Was there anything of note when you examined these pants?
These pants also had linear damage between the top and the bottom, which would be consistent with cuts made by emergency medical personnel when removing the item.
If we could zoom in to show those cuts, Ms. Gilman. And could we scroll down, please? Thank you. If we can next show P243, which is 149B. Could you zoom in on the top part of those pants, please? Can you make any observations or notes about the pants?
May I look at my notes, please?
With the court's permission, please. Thank you.
I noted numerous red-brown stains on the clothing, as well as dirt and debris on the clothing.
What part of the pants did you note the dirt and debris?
It was just a general observation. I didn't specifically denote where it was.
Ms. Gilman, could you scroll from the top to the bottom of the pants, please? Thank you. You can take that down, please. Did you perform any additional testing relative to the clothing that you examined, that being the sweatshirt, the t-shirt, and the pants?
I performed numerous tests on each of the red-brown stains on the items that I marked.
After you completed examining the red and brown stains, did you do any other type of testing or evidence collection relative to the clothing?
Yes, I did.
Could you share with the jury what you did as far as further evidence collection relative to the clothing?
Can we take it item by item? How would you
Sure.
prefer to do it?
Let's start with the sweatshirt.
Okay. So in addition to testing the red-brown stains, I collected any stain that was positive or confirmatory for blood. After performing that collection, I also performed a collection around the tears on the right sleeve of the item. That's using 2 cotton swabs moistened with sterile water, which I vigorously rubbed around the areas of the teared areas on the sleeve. I also performed an additional scraping and swabbing of the unstained areas of the sweatshirt for any potential skin cell recovery. In addition, I performed a debris collection from the sweatshirt.
I want to stop you there. I want you to explain to us in some detail, what is a debris collection and how do you undergo a debris collection?
After I've completed all the testing that I'm going to do on the item, I remove any large items that may be present on the item, such as apparent hairs or fibers, anything that I can pick off, I can visibly see with a pair of tweezers. Once that is done, I will do I did a general debris collection where I took a large metal spatula-shaped object and scraped the clothing, or in this particular case, the sweatshirt. And any debris that came off the sweatshirt was put into a glassine fold and preserved.
Before you tried to scrape off any debris that was on the sweatshirt, could you, to your own eye, see any debris in the sweatshirt?
May I check my notes? Yes. In this particular case, I did pick off a couple of pieces of what I termed black debris. I made no additional analysis of that item. I packaged that separately, and then the scrapings themselves, I did not make any observations of anything contained in those scrapings. So there was nothing of note that I could have put in my notes to further classify them.
When you do the scraping, is there a table or a desk that you would see small pieces or difficult pieces? How do you contain what you're scraping from an item?
I lay out a piece of glassine paper, which is approximately 6 inches by 6 inches, and I scrape the debris into that glassine, and then I fold it up and put it in an additional envelope to prevent anything from falling out.
So if there's any debris, you would fold it in the glassine and then put that in a separate envelope?
Yes, that's correct.
And did you continue to study and scrape the other pieces of clothing?
Yes, I performed that same type of scraping on the orange t-shirt. That scraping was combined with the scrapings from the sweatshirt. I performed the same scraping on the jeans as well as the boxer shorts.
In that scraping process, did you acquire debris?
Yes, there was some visible debris.
How small were the pieces?
I did not make any measurements of it.
Why not?
That's done by a different analysis unit, so I didn't do any type of analysis on that debris.
How small or large were the pieces of debris that you scraped from the clothing?
I did not take any measurements of them.
How did you store the debris that you scraped from the clothing?
It was put into a glassine fold, given a separate item number, and then put into a larger glassine fold so that it could be tracked throughout the laboratory.
Do you have that item number?
Yes, I do. So the debris from the sweatshirt and t-shirt was item 7-18.18.
I'm going to ask you one more time for that number.
7-18.18.
And that's the debris that you scraped from the shirt and the sweatshirt?
Correct.
Did you do any debris scraping from the pants?
Yes, I did.
Was any debris produced from the pants?
Yes.
Was it similarly packaged?
Yes, that's correct.
Was there a different item number given for the pants?
Yes.
And what was that item number?
May I check my notes?
Yes.
Thank you. That item number, the debris from the jeans, was 7-1.8.
Those two items, the debris that you acquired from those clothing items, did you send them anywhere?
I put those in our secured storage unit, and they were later forwarded on to the trace unit for analysis.
They later went to the trace unit?
Yes, that's correct.
When you arrived at Canton on February 1st, 2022, do you recall what the weather was like outside?
I don't recall. I just know that it was winter.
You said when you first get to a scene, you have a conversation about the investigators' information to help your assessment. I don't want you to discuss what that conversation may have been, but did you have a similar conversation?
Yes, I did.
When you're looking at an item that's been stored, like in this case, a car, does the weather conditions, ice, cold, snow, ever preserve or maintain evidence on an item longer than otherwise would stay?
I'm sorry, can you ask that one more time, please?
Does ice or snow or the weather ever maintain evidence longer than otherwise would stay?
I don't have any data or information to that.
Have you ever had an opportunity to view videos of the Lexus when it was first stored and the condition of snow and ice on it and the firing process of that?
I don't believe that's the part of the video I saw. No.
You saw a video after the snow had already melted?
I don't know if the snow had melted. When I saw the vehicle, it did not have snow on it.
Okay. Thank you. I have no further questions.
Okay.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
Thank you. Your Honor,
Show Mr. Bennett the video. Okay.
pursuant to a stipulation with the Commonwealth, we stipulated into evidence various documents. So what I'd like with Your Honor's permission and the clerk have marked next in order, and then I'll proceed from there.
Thank you. Should any be marked A, B, and C, or are they each separate?
Separate.
Okay.
Exhibits 152, 153.
And Your Honor, there's one more exhibit that we have pursuant to stipulation. That evidence. Next in order.
Exhibit 154.
And Your Honor, if I could just show Mr. Wolf this to make this more efficient for the last one. Thank you, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Ms. Hartnett.
Good afternoon.
Is it acceptable to you for me to refer to you as Ms. Hartnett?
Yes, that's fine. Thank you.
You were dispatched to the Sally Port at the Canton Police Department on February 1st, 2022 by former Massachusetts State Trooper Michael Proctor, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
You understood at that time that Michael Proctor was the lead detective, the person who was in control of the investigation?
Yes, that's what I was informed of when I read.
While you were there, one of the things that you did initially was to conduct an overview of the vehicle meaning the black Lexus SUV that you talked about extensively on Direct, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
That was important to you, given the limited information that you had at the time about what was contended to be a potential motor vehicle pedestrian incident, correct?
That is something that I would do in any type of exam where I'm looking at a vehicle. I look at the overall vehicle.
So you were looking for anything possible that would rise to the level of investigative concern regarding that vehicle, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
In your
Pause for a second. I'm going to go back to mute just for a couple more minutes. But I have to say that I'm glad that we get to watch Alessi. As much as I love Alan Jackson and watching him work, I truly appreciate Bob Alessi and the way he is so. They're all passionate, but I don't know what it is. I know people have their favorites. Bob Alessi, when he cross-examines people, is just my favorite. we get to see him do it with Shannon Burgess next. So here we go.
Familiar with the Parliament's investigative concern, right?
Yes, that's correct.
And that's why you noted various items, for example, scratches on the vehicle.
Yes.
You didn't draw any conclusions as to where those scratches came from, though, did you?
No, I did not.
The dent that you noted and photographed that you discussed on your direct examination, you likewise made no conclusion as to the source or cause of that dent, correct?
That's correct.
And you did therefore not make any or draw any conclusions as to whether that dent was caused by any motor vehicle or pedestrian accident, correct?
Correct.
You're a forensic scientist too for the Massachusetts State Police Department, as I understand it?
Yes.
With regard to the taillight that you spoke about rather extensively on your direct examination, you likewise were not able to, and you make no conclusions as to the cause of that broken taillight, correct?
That's correct.
And you draw, therefore, no conclusions with regard to whether that taillight became in the condition that was discussed on direct examination pursuant to any alleged motor vehicle pedestrian incident, correct?
Correct.
The dent, the scratches, the broken taillight on the Lexus, to your knowledge, as you sit here today, could have existed before February 1st, 2022, when you went to Sallyport, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And to your knowledge, the dent, the scratches, the broken taillight could have existed before January 29th of 2022, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
You also looked for, as you stated, tissue, blood, biological material, and things of that nature on the vehicle, correct?
Yes, I did.
In that inspection of the vehicle, you didn't see any visible stains or tissue on the vehicle, did you?
No, we did not.
You were told, Ms. Hartnett, that there were wounds on the right arm of Mr. O'Keefe, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And at the time you went to the Sallyport on February 1st of 2022, you were not shown a photograph by anybody of the wounds on the right arm of Mr. O'Keefe, were you?
No, I was not.
However, you've seen since then a photograph of the right arm of Mr. O'Keefe and the wounds on that right arm, correct?
Yes, I have.
With Your Honor's permission, if I could publish Exhibit 1 in evidence?
Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Wolf? Ms. Hartnett, I'd ask you to take a look at that, and you recognize that what's depicted in that Exhibit 1, correct?
Yes, I do.
And you've seen that pattern of wounds on the right arm as depicted in a photograph of the decedent before, correct?
I've seen this photo before, yes.
You cannot state whether the wounds on the right arm as depicted in Exhibit 1 are from a motor vehicle can.
That would be on the scope of my expertise. I don't make any conclusions on injuries on a person.
So the answer is you cannot and do not make any conclusions with regard to the source of the wounds on the right arm as Mr. O'Keefe as depicted in that Exhibit 1, correct?
That's correct.
And you're also not able to state whether you observed anything on the vehicle.
Are you done with this?
I'm not, Your Honor, but I will let the court know. It'll be shortly. Thank you. And you cannot state that you observed anything on the SUV that would cause the wounds on the right arm of Mr. O'Keefe as depicted in Exhibit 1, correct?
That is not a type of analysis I would perform.
So the answer to that question is no, you cannot state that you observed anything on the vehicle that would cause those wounds to the right arm of Mr. O'Keefe. Did you look toward the top of the lift gate of the Lexus vehicle when you were at the Sallyport Kent Police Department on February 1st of 2022?
Are you referring to the exterior or the interior?
Exterior.
I don't recall specifically looking at that area. I did an overall examination of the vehicle, with exception to the actual roof of the vehicle. So I don't remember specifically looking at that area.
So as you sit here today, there is nothing notable with regard to that area of the vehicle, correct?
I had nothing in my notes regarding that area now.
And as you sit here today, there's nothing you're recalling that is notable about the top part around the lift gate of the back of the SUV, correct?
That's correct.
Did anyone ask you to examine that area?
Not that area specifically, no.
Do you understand what I will refer to as the undercarriage of the vehicle?
Yes.
And what, just for the jury's better understanding, what are you referring to when you refer to the undercarriage of the vehicle? I know it may be common sense, but just to be clear.
Well, I understand the undercarriage to be where if I was laying underneath the car, what I would be looking at, it include the muffler, various pipes, but that's the extent of my knowledge of vehicles.
So if we're talking about the back of the vehicle, and if we go sort of top to bottom, top where we were talking about the lift gate going all the way down and then go to the bumper and then go under the bumper and where it curls under the bumper, then was the bumper and underneath and more a little toward the front. Is that what you're referring to as the undercarriage?
Yes, just the general area underneath the vehicle, extending from under the bumper to the front of the vehicle.
Right. So the undercarriage is not merely from the back, but it's underneath all the way toward the front of the vehicle, correct?
Yes,
and
that's
you
correct.
refer to all, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. So all that area you refer to as the undercarriage.
Yes.
Did you notice anything of note in the undercarriage, as you just described it, of the vehicle?
No, I did not.
And as regards sampling that you discussed on your direct examination, did you take any samples of that undercarriage area of the vehicle?
I did not collect anything from the undercarriage, no.
And is the reason you didn't collect anything because you didn't see anything of note that was worthy of collection?
In addition to that, I also performed some testing of that area.
And what testing of that area did you perform?
I performed screening tests on some of the lower lying areas of the undercarriage, on the tire flaps, the edge of the bumper, the muffler pipe.
And what were the results of that testing, that screening testing?
Those results were negative.
And negative for what?
It was a screening test for the possible presence of blood.
So on the entire undercarriage, from where we started in the very back, all the way underneath, all the way up to the front, the screening test came back negative for any blood or other biological material or anything else of note that would be part of that screening test.
So I did not perform a screening test on the entire undercarriage. I just performed a screening test on the lower lying areas, and those were all negative. And there was also no visible staining in that area, so that is correct.
What I'd like to do now is to talk about sort of overall what we just discussed. So you discussed certain damage to the vehicle.
We all know what stays in my, or what goes on in my chat stays in my chat. My chat's like Vegas, okay?
You had no way on February 1st, and you have no way today of knowing whether any or all of that damage was pre-existing before January 29th of 2022, correct?
That's correct.
So it's possible that all the damage that you've discussed could have existed before January 29th of 2022.
Yes, that's possible.
Are you aware of the odometer reading of the Lexus when it was in the Sallyport garage?
No, I'm not.
If we showed you a document in evidence that would have that on the mileage on the odometer, might that refresh your recollection as to what the mileage was?
That's not something I made note of or even observed on the day that I was looking at the vehicle.
Okay, so you were there with Trooper Clark on February 1st, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Are you aware of whether Trooper Clark observed and took a picture of the odometer? Are you aware of that happening?
I'm not aware of that specific picture.
The mileage on the vehicle was of no interest to you in your inspection as a forensic scientist too?
So my role as a forensic scientist too is to look for potential biological fluids and trace materials on an item. The mileage would not be something that I have ever made note of in any of my examinations of the vehicle.
So but you do analyze damage, correct?
I perform damage analysis on textiles and softer materials, not on vehicles.
But you performed the damage analysis on this vehicle, correct?
No, that's not correct.
So you observed damage on this vehicle, correct?
Yes.
But although you observed damage for your role, your position is that the mileage is of not of interest regarding your role. If I got that correct?
Correct.
Thank you. Moving on to another category, you spoke on direct examination about solo cups and 6 solo cups, and there were depictions put on the screen. Do you recall that?
Yes, I do.
So on February 1st, in addition to taking some swabs from the vehicle, you also mentioned that you took swabs of, as I would call it, frozen red-brown stains located inside the red solo cups?
Yes, that's correct.
Other than in this case, did you ever have to take swabs of red stain material from solo cups that people usually use for other purposes?
I've never performed a collection like that, no.
So this is the first time you ever performed a collection like that, correct?
I mean, the collection process itself is standard, applying the sterile water to the swabs and putting in a potential stain of interest. However, no, I've never collected a sample from a red solo cup before.
Have you ever taken a sample from a red solo cup since that February 1st?
No, I've not.
How many swabs did you take with regard to the red solo cups?
I took 2 swabs.
How did you choose which of the 6 solo cups that you were going to take? And I understand you took 2. Did you take 2 swabs?
two swabs, but they were considered the same sample. They were taken from the same cup, same stain.
That was what I wanted to get at. You took the two swabs, but they were from the same solo cup.
That's correct.
Do you recall how you chose which solo cup you were going to take the swab from?
I don't recall.
Could that be of significance, which one you chose and why?
In this particular case, I did not believe it was significant at the time.
Did you confer with anybody as to what might be the best solo cup from which to take the swab?
I did receive information about where the solo cups were collected from, which helped me making that decision.
As a forensic scientist too, you're aware that blood stains can contain, and these red-brown stains here, could contain multiple contributors, correct?
In some instances, that is correct.
What's a multiple contributor?
A multiple contributor, I believe the term more used in the DNA unit. However, having many contributors to a particular stain just means there may be multiple sources of that biological material.
Do you know which red-brown stains that are contended to be found at the scene relate to which solo cup in the bag that these solo cups were in?
The information I had at the time were that these were collected from a single stained area from beneath the victim.
But you don't have personal knowledge of that, correct?
No, that's correct. I was not present at the scene at 34 period.
If the swabs were taken from multiple stains, you would have no way of knowing whether the swabs were taken from the same stain, correct?
Can you rephrase that, please?
Sure. If the swabs were taken from multiple stains, you wouldn't know where the swabs in particular came from?
So are you speaking of the swabs that I took?
Yes.
So the swabs that I took, I know came from one of those 6 cups. And I was informed that those 6 cups of red-brown stains came from a single stained area underneath the victim.
That information you just spoke about, was it put in any note that you read?
It was something that I had in my notes.
Did anybody else convey that information to you at the Sally Port?
I got that from an officer on scene at the Sally Port, but I do not recall which officer relayed that
So
to
it
me.
was verbal information you got?
That is correct.
Did that person show you any note or chain of custody or other document to support his or her statement in that regard?
No, they did not.
Ultimately, once you did take those swabs from a single solo cup, what did you do with the rest of the evidence in the cup?
That evidence was left with the Canton PD.
So you left the rest of the brown stained blood evidence from solo cups with the Canton PD. You didn't take it back with you to your officer lab.
Correct.
DNA testing was not done on those swabs, was it?
I don't believe it was. No testing was done on those swabs.
So as we all sit here today, there has been no confirmation of whose blood those swabs relate to, correct?
At this time, those were not tested for blood at all, so I couldn't confirm that they're blood, and no additional testing was done. That is correct.
So therefore, we don't know any person or persons they might relate to.
That is correct.
And thus, we don't know if there were multiple contributors to those stains.
Okay.
It's a stain. You testified that the remainder of the contents of the solo cup that you swabbed from, as well as the other 5 solo cups, were retained at the Canton Police Department, as you know, before you left. And that investigation, as you said at the time, was being headed up by former Trooper Proctor, correct?
That is correct.
Michael Proctor was at the Canton Police Department Sally Port location at the time you were performing your work on February 1st, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Did Michael Proctor take control of those solo cups?
I don't know who took control of the solo cups. I know that I turned them over to a Canton police officer. I handed them to a Canton police officer.
Michael Proctor had taken control of those solo cups?
To my knowledge, it was a Canton police officer at that time. I don't know what happened to them after they were turned over to the Canton PD.
Why is it that you believe a Canton police officer had control over those cups rather than former Trooper Proctor?
Just from my actual memory, I remember they had collected the frozen red brown stains in the cups. So it was technically their evidence. I took the sample I needed from them, so I just returned it to the officer who had presented them to me.
So therefore, after you presented them, you don't know who took control of those cups. Is that a fair conclusion?
Yes, that's correct. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's okay. My question probably wasn't all that clear. Ultimately, during your work and inspection of the vehicle, the SUV, the right rear taillight housing was removed, as you testified to on direct examination, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And you testified that a Canton police officer sort of helped you with the last stage of the removal of that taillight?
Yes, that's correct.
Do you know whether that officer was wearing, do you have a distinct recollection that that officer was wearing any special protective gloves?
I only know because I have seen the videos recently that he was wearing gloves.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear your answer.
I only know that he was wearing gloves because I have recently seen the video. I do not have a first-hand memory of that.
You said you recently saw a video. When was that?
Monday.
And what was
I'm sorry. Let me correct myself. What day is today? I saw it Thursday. Excuse me.
And what was the circumstances under which you were reviewing a video?
I had just recently found out there was video, and it's just something I wanted to see in case I was shown it on the stand, so I knew what it consisted of. I hadn't seen it prior to last Thursday.
Did you testify to that on your direct and I missed it, or did it not come up? Reviewing a video.
I'm sorry, yes, I believe I was asked if I had seen the video, and yes, I had.
Okay, thank you. Now back to the taillight. Mr. Woke, if we could have Exhibit 145 published.
Okay.
With your honor's permission. Thank you. We have up on the screens, and I know you went through this on direct, so I'm going to shortcut it. This is the tail light at the lab that you were talking about on direct, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And that's the tail light housing that you submitted to the lab that you had obtained from the Sallyport garage, right?
Yes,
so just to cover quickly some basics, there was one swab taken that you mentioned on direct of that tail light.
Yes.
And you testified, if I remember correctly, on direct that you, well, it's better for you just, if you could with a pointer, is just show the areas you covered with that one swab.
So I collected the swab from any of the, what would have been exposed areas of the taillight when the taillight was intact.
And if you could please, just give like a perimeter full, I know it's not a circle, but whatever it is, just full perimeter so the jury can see the entire area that you swabbed.
Sure. It was this upper right-hand red area, this portion down here, I believe it's red, and then there's also a portion of clear area in the front here that was swabbed, and that was all contained on a single swab.
Thank you very much. So I want to keep this up if I could, Your Honor, but we can have the lights back on if that's acceptable. Just, so, thank you. In terms of the swabbing, you did not swab, therefore, any other area of that taillight, correct? Including the area to the left of where you just drew the circle, if you will, around, correct?
I would just say it's difficult from this picture to see if there's what would have been exposed when the Nathan, I'm sorry, I don't know specifically on the left in this picture, if there's anything that would have been there prior to the damage. If there was an external area, it would have been included in my collection. So I just didn't include any of the internal components of the taillight. So if I'm missing a piece over there that would have been on the exterior, then I apologize. I just can't see it in the picture if it's there.
Let's just assume my discussion and my questions. You don't have to assume. My questions are just with regard to the inside of the taillight, because you've very nicely governed and talked about the outside of the taillight as you described it, where you swab. Now I want to go to the areas that you didn't swab. Okay. Whatever you best can do to describe the areas of the taillight that you did not swab.
Okay.
And if you could use the laser pointer, if that
Sure.
helped you.
So I did not swab the internal areas of the taillight. So here where the light bulb would have been, or down here where it's gray.
And focusing on the more, is it okay to call it the inside part of the taillight? Is that acceptable?
Okay.
So the inside of the taillight, to be clear, you didn't swab that area.
No, I did not.
In terms of where you did swab, given that you swabbed with one swab the entire area, you are not able to say precisely where any DNA might have come from?
Just that it would have been present. If there was DNA present on that swab, it would have come from the external exposed area of the taillight, should the taillight have been intact.
But again, on the inside, because you didn't swab the inside, you had no evidence of DNA on the inside of the taillight, correct?
Correct. I did not swab the inside.
With regard to the, what we'll call the outside where you did swab as opposed to the inside where you didn't, you cannot define whether the DNA was to the upper right, to the outside of the taillight lens, or some other place in that area, correct?
No, I wouldn't be able to narrow down where on the external portion, external front. I mean, I didn't swab anything in the back that was attached to the vehicle. So anything in the external front, I would not be able to narrow down any further where, if any biological material was present, where it was recovered on, specifically on the external area.
You did not find any glass on the inside of the taillight, did you?
Are you referring to like loose pieces?
Any kind of glass at all?
I did not note anything unusual inside the taillight.
I'm speaking, thank you for that answer. I'm speaking specifically about glass. You didn't find any glass on the inside of that taillight when you were at Sallyport for your entire inspection on February 1st, 2022, correct?
I'm just going to make sure that I understand your question. I didn't find anything that was not inherent to the taillight inside. I don't know what the taillight's made out of. So if there's a portion on the inside that's made out of glass, it may have been there. I didn't see anything that was out of place on the interior of the taillight.
So using your terms inherent, you mean by that something could have been on the inside of that taillight that was part of the taillight that could have been glass. But other than that, there's no what scientists call exogenous or outside glass or glass that doesn't belong as part of the taillight, correct?
I'm hesitant to answer that specific question. I don't perform glass analysis, so I just perform collection. So if there was something that apparently looked like glass that had been loose inside, is that what you're referring to? I can answer that question. But but I can't say specifically whether a material is glass.
I understand. My question is a basic one,
Okay.
which is, you found no glass that would not be associated. Let me try that. Did you ever observe in this taillight any glass as part of the taillight? That's part of the taillight? Anything glass that you observed?
Again, I can't make a distinction on a material being glass, so I think the premise of the question I'm having difficulty answering.
Okay. So last part of the questioning, you didn't make any note that said you found glass inside of that taillight, correct?
I wouldn't make a note that something is glass inside a taillight because I can't draw a conclusion to what a material is, because that's just not part of the analysis I do.
And to wrap this part up, and then we can move on from this item, you didn't find any DNA on the inside of that taillight.
My analysis would not include DNA analysis because that is a different unit, so I can't answer that question.
To your knowledge, as you sit here today, is there any information from anybody that says that there's any DNA in that taillight?
I have no information of that.
Thank you. So what I want to do now is, if we can take that down, Mr. Wolf, I want to move on to what is sometimes referred to as touch DNA. I know you're familiar with that concept, right, Ms. Hartnett?
Yes, that's correct.
And what is, for the jurors' understanding, what is touch DNA?
When skin comes into contact with an item, potentially skin cells can be left behind, which is commonly referred to as touch DNA, when in essence it's these skin cells from the person being transferred to another object or item.
So is this a fair example that if I walk by the podium and brush my hand against it like that, I could very well be touch DNA on that podium for what I just did? Okay.
It's the standard government foundation for this witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. So is it possible for me, as I'm sitting here talking, based upon your knowledge, to leave touch DNA on this podium?
Same.
Yeah, thank you, Your Honor. Are you familiar with the process by which a person can leave touch DNA on the surface?
Yes, I commonly defer to biological material because that is what my expertise is in. Skin cells can be transferred to an item, and skin cells can potentially provide DNA.
So do palms of hands produce skin cells?
Yes, they are made of skin cells,
And
correct.
if a hand is on, for example, a podium, can there be a transfer of skin cells to the podium?
Yes, there can be.
And therefore, can the hands on a podium that have skin cells transfer DNA?
Yes, again, I'm not a DNA expert, but generally that would be the source, would be skin cells. Could be, yes.
You also indicated that you collected apparent glass from the rear bumper of the Lexus, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And you use the term apparent glass, as I understand forensic science, because at the time you're not really sure what it is, right? So you use the word apparent glass, and you can't take away the apparent until there's a confirmation that it is glass, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And on your direct examination, you went through a discussion, so I'm going to shortcut it a little bit, about apparent glass that you located on the rear bumper of the vehicle, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Your Honor, with your permission, can we publish Exhibit 141, which is in evidence?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Wolf? Ms. Hartnett, I'm showing you what is Exhibit 141 in evidence, and I know you know this, and I know it's been discussed. Could you just give a brief summary of what is depicted in Exhibit 141?
This is a close-up of the right rear area of the bumper where I noted the pieces of apparent glass.
And you remember discussing this on your direct examination?
Yes.
Now, I just want to cover some basics with regard that weren't covered on the direct examination. You're a specially trained person, and that's how you get your forensic scientist too. Title, correct?
Yes, it means that I've gone through all the training within the lab.
And all that training and all of those procedures are important and necessary because the collection of evidence is important, correct?
That is one of the reasons, correct.
And if those protocols aren't followed, then that can lead to incorrect conclusions, correct?
Depending on what portion of the protocol is involved, but yes, it's
But
possible.
certainly, at a minimum, it increases the risk for an incorrect conclusion or observation, correct?
Again, it depends on what part of the protocol is involved, but it's possible.
I assume it's therefore important to you that the protocols are followed so that the best result and the best collection and therefore the best analysis occurs, correct?
I make every effort to follow the protocols.
Is the quantity of the material you observe and collect also relevant, perhaps not to you, but to other persons in the investigation?
Yes, it can be.
And therefore, it's important not only to get the type of material correct, but to get the quantity correct.
In some instances, yes.
And with regard to your work on this vehicle on February 1st, do you recall discussing the observation you made with regard to the rear bumper?
I'm sorry, can you ask that question again, please?
On the direct examination, you talked about glass on the rear bumper, correct?
Yes,
You
apparent
talked
glass.
about what you observed, you talked about what you put a sticker on, you talked about what you collected, you talked about the transport, correct?
That is correct.
And you put it in your notes, and you talked about it on direct examination, I assume because it was an important part of the work that you did.
Yes, there's a piece of evidence that I collected, correct.
And therefore, it's important for you to have made correct observations and to make correct collections, correct?
Correct.
With your honor's permission, if we could publish Exhibit 133. If I could have a moment with Mr. Woke just to do this officially, Your Honor, thank you. With your honor's permission, if Mr. Woke, you could zoom in on the stickers, right? So this part on your direct examination, you stated that there were 2 stickers and that there were therefore glass associated with each sticker, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So 2 stickers and glass associated with each sticker, correct?
Yes, correct.
In fact, there's only 1 sticker, and the second sticker is merely a reflection of the first sticker, and therefore you have doubled the stickers and you've doubled the amount of glass on bumper. Can you see that? Can you determine that from the photo?
No, can I see the other photo, please?
Yes.
Okay.
So if we could, Your Honor, with your permission, go to Exhibit 133. You asked to see this one. Can you now make a determination, having seen both of them, whether there is in fact just 1 sticker and therefore 1 volume of glass associated with it?
No, I cannot. You're saying this is a reflection?
I can't testify,
Okay.
so I'm asking you. With your honor's permission, if we could go back to the other picture.
Okay.
And you could zoom in. Do you see a reverse B in that picture?
I'm sorry, can you take that?
I'm sorry, a reverse B as in Bob?
No, could you zoom in on each of the stickers for me, please?
We'll do whatever you would like to do to answer the question. So.
Sure. And then if I could just see the other sticker, please.
Absolutely.
Yes, I believe that is a reverse B, correct.
And doesn't that mean that it's a mere reflection and that there's only 1 sticker that you put on, and therefore only 1 volume of glass associated with 1 sticker?
Can you say that question again? I can't hear you.
I'm sorry, I will stay by the microphone. Is this microphone?
Yeah.
Can you have- So therefore, can you now conclude, because of the reflection and because of the reverse B, that there is only, in actuality, and there was only in actuality, 1 sticker and 1 B, and therefore 1 volume of glass associated with this bumper?
I don't know specifically that is a reflection. It's not unusual for me to use the same letter on a sticker if I'm going to collect the items and evidence together. So if I had written it, on top or on the bottom of the scale on one of them and on the top of the scale on the other one, that is a possibility. It's difficult for me to tell by this picture. What I can tell you is that all the items of glass or apparent glass that present on the bumper were collected together. So I can't say specifically by looking at this photo whether I just label 2 separate areas to make the photo show the pieces better or if it is a reflection. I can't say.
So from what we just went through, you're not able to tell that is a reflection and therefore is that correct? Do you have any doubt whether there is a reflection on the photo that is on the screen at this moment? Do you have any doubt?
Oh, I would say it could be a possibility, yes.
Right. So you have doubt. So you believe it's a possibility?
Yes, correct.
Is it more than a possibility? Yes. You would agree that it's important to have the accurate answer to that question, correct?
I think that, yes, obviously understanding and knowing exactly what I'm looking at is important, but it would not change what I would have collected and how I would have labeled it.
So with regard to what others might do and conclude from that, it could be important to them, correct?
I did fall
Let's go
asleep.
to these.
I was
we can go back to
muted.
None of these pieces of apparent.
It was only for a few minutes though, because nobody's been chatting, and I warned everybody. Dar was here. We were conversing, listening to this woman. I ate some lunch and put on mute, and I knew it was going to kind of happen because now that I ate, of course, now my eyes wanted to close and fell asleep for a few minutes. It is what it is. But hi, Angie. Thanks for stopping by. For those that are still here, I am here and I'm awake now. And yeah. No, you're good, Darvader. But if we only have 25 minutes left of her testimony. So I'm going to finish her testimony and then end for today anyway, because then tomorrow we're getting into Shannon Burgess.
Glass were embedded in the bumper, correct?
No, they were resting on the bumper.
So by not being embedded and just resting on the bumper, you therefore did not make a notation that they were embedded in your notes. You just put that they were on the bumper, correct?
That's correct.
And sort of as we're elaborating here, you're elaborating, they were just, as your words, they were just resting on the bumper.
Correct.
If I may confer with Mr. Wolf on the video. Thank you.
Do you need the lights on to do it?
Thank you for that opportunity, Your Honor. If we could go to Exhibit 124, Mr. Wolf, and with Your Honor's permission, if we could publish it. Ms. Hartnett, there had been various weather before February 1st in the area. Is that correct? You testified to that somewhat on direct examination.
Yes, that's correct.
And are you able to discern from what is on the screen now that there is some type of precipitation that is on the back window of the liftgate of the vehicle?
Yes.
And is that consistent with what you observed when you were in the Sally Port on February 1st?
I don't believe I observed the precipitation on the back of the vehicle by the time I arrived.
But does this refresh your recollection as to whether there was, in fact, that precipitation on the vehicle at that time?
Can you ask it differently so you need it clearer?
Yes. Do you recall when you were at the Sally Port on February 1st, any precipitation on the rear window of the liftgate of the SUV?
No, I do not recall.
And does this depiction refresh your recollection on that point?
I'll allow that. Does it?
No, I don't recall seeing any precipitation on the vehicle, and I don't know when that photo was taken, so that does not refresh my memory of that instance.
Is there a date of January 29th, 2022 on that photo? We can enlarge it if that would help. And again, this is in evidence. Do you see what is at the bottom of the photo?
I do.
Now, if we could play, with Your Honor's permission, this video, and if we could stop it at certain points, Mr. Wolf, that would be helpful. May we, Your Honor?
Okay.
Thank you. You could wait, Mr. Wolf, until the sirens pass. Mr. Wolf, if you can go back just and wait until the sirens pass, please.
Oh, I've done it a couple times, Andy.
Thank you. I think they passed.
I just get to the point where my eyes close and I'm out. But I'm only out for 15 minutes, 20 minutes at the most, I think.
If you could accelerate it just a little bit, Mr. Wolf, without overly accelerating all that's happening. And accelerate it a little bit more. And that's good. And if you could bring, yes, thank you. We have the lights on and take that down, please. Can you describe what you just saw?
Whatever the white material was present on the back of the vehicle was falling off.
And where was it falling onto?
The ground.
And did it hit anything before the ground? For example, did it hit the bumper before it hit the ground?
I didn't take note of that.
That was on January 29th, 2022. You were at the Sally Port on February 1st, 2022, correct?
That's correct.
So, yeah, here's on January 29th. You come to the Sally Port on February 1st, yet there is glass on the bumper on February 1st that, as you have described it, is just perched on the bumper. Right?
Yes, that's correct.
Do you know generally where Dighton, Massachusetts is?
Yes.
Do you know where, and you obviously know where Canton is?
Yes.
How far away would you say Dighton is from Canton?
Time-wise, maybe 30 to 45 minutes.
And therefore, roughly, if someone were to go the speed limit, around 30 minutes away?
Sure.
Not holding you to any exact time, just generally. Your notes indicate that the vehicle was recovered from Dighton, the one we've been talking about, the Lexus, and towed back to Canton and placed in the Sally Port garage of the Canton PD before you started your examination, correct?
That's correct.
And you were made aware before your inspection or examination on February 1st of 2022 that the alleged incident in this case took place in Canton, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So you knew you were looking at this vehicle, when you were looking at this vehicle and doing your examination, that the vehicle, by definition, as to what we had just covered, went from Canton to Dighton and then towed back from Dighton back to Canton, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So it ends up back in Canton after that journey,
I'm not
correct?
going to do that.
Yes, that's what I
Mayor.
said. Correct.
So
I wouldn't listen to that again. No, thank you.
I understand your notes. The glass pieces that were just perched on the bumper would have traveled about 60 miles before you saw them?
Is that what you're saying?
No.
Well, when do you believe the glass appeared on the bumper, if you know?
I don't know when the apparent glass appeared on the bumper.
So you believe it's possible that the apparent glass appeared on the bumper after January 29, 2022?
Yeah.
Sustained.
Do you know the weather conditions that were in the area? You talked about it earlier, you talked about it on direct, in the general time of January 29th of 2022.
Yes, I do.
Do you know when the vehicle took its journey that we talked about, Canton, Dighton, back to Canton? Do you know what day that occurred?
No, I do not.
Would it have, let's assume it was on January 29th, okay?
Yes. Okay.
For purposes of my questioning. Do you know what the weather was, including wind speed, on January 29th?
No, I do not. I know general weather conditions. Sorry.
You knew generally, but not specifically, correct?
Correct.
Your Honor, with the court's permission, I'd like to publish Exhibit 60 in evidence.
Okay.
And if you could go through to the top, Mr. Wolk, the title first. If you could go before that to the very, very top title in the center, so Ms. Hartnett can see okay. And then if you could now go down to the part of the document that would show the date, and then go from left to right for Ms. Hartnett, please, and the jury. And show which column go up above what the 29 relates to. And if you now then can proceed to the yellow line and go over to and hit the relevant categories. Thank you. So we have a 15.7. If you can now go up vertically as to what that number relates to. And can you highlight what it relates to? And if you could now go down to, and go up above 1, just above the average, is to yellow highlight what's above the column up above average speed. Yes. Okay, if you now can go down to the respective columns at the bottom for January 29th. Do you see those two numbers, Ms. Hartnett?
Yes.
Does that refresh your recollection at all about the average wind speed and gusts of wind that were occurring on January 29th of 2022?
I have no firsthand knowledge of what the wind speed specifically was in those dates.
So if we could go back to Mr. Wolf, the exhibit with regard to glass on the bumper of the vehicle. So these are your observations on February 1st. And we talked about the journey that the vehicle went on. We talked generally about the weather.
So try and ask a question without too much.
I understand. Understood, Your Honor. Thank you. In your experience as a forensic scientist too, is it possible for glass that is perched on a bumper to travel 60 miles and be subject to average wind speeds of 15.7 and still remain on the bumper? Objection.
So it's sustained without a proper foundation.
Understood. Have you ever had experience with analyzing glass on any surface, an outdoor surface, and correlating that glass to weather conditions to make a determination as to the likelihood that glass could be or not be in a certain place on a certain date and time? Have you ever done that?
No.
Based upon what you know about this case, just based upon what you know, and from your role as a forensic scientist too only, do you believe that information would be relevant to your role as a forensic scientist too?
Sustained.
How did you recover the glass? What tool did you use to recover the glass on the bumper?
Tweezers.
How difficult or easy was it for you to take the glass off that bumper with, did you say tweezers?
Yes, that's correct.
How hard or easy was it for you to remove those pieces of glass with tweezers?
It was not difficult.
So it was easy.
Yes, correct.
You can take that step down, Mr. Wolf. Thank you. Moving on to another category, Ms. Hartnett. You testified on direct examination that you located an apparent hair on the rear right quarter panel of the vehicle, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And again, we say apparent hair for the reasons we've discussed. You didn't know at the time, so you use the word apparent, and you don't take away the apparent until testing confirms it's hair, correct?
Correct.
So the apparent hair was not sitting on the horizontal bumper, but it was on a vertical portion of the panel. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And that's the quarter panel, right?
Yes.
And that's a smooth surface, right?
Yes.
That hair wasn't secured to that panel, was it?
No.
It in fact
Just
wasn't
happened
secured
to
in
still
any way.
be
on
there.
that
Yeah,
quarter panel,
right.
correct?
Correct.
It wasn't taped?
No.
It wasn't glued? It wasn't stapled?
No.
It was not affixed in any way whatsoever?
No, it's not.
You found this apparent hair at the same time you found the glass pieces on the bumper, correct?
In the same general time, yes, that's correct.
When you say same general time, it was just one day you were there, correct?
Yes.
The range of time wasn't that broad, was it, correct?
No, it was not correct.
What was the range of time between finding one versus the other?
I don't know specifically. I was there for approximately 2 hours, so within that time
So
period.
within just 2 hours, you found the pieces of glass and the apparent hair, and within that time, you did your examination, you made your notes, all of that done within just 2 hours.
Yes, that's correct.
Wow.
You remember the journey we talked about of the vehicle that you spoke about with regard to Canton, Dighton, Canton? You recall that?
Yes, I do.
So do you know whether, if you have any knowledge, whether that hair was part of that journey? Do you have any knowledge?
I do not.
Do you know when the hair was deposited on the vehicle?
No.
Was it easy or hard to take off the apparent hair from that quarter panel?
It was easy. Again, I picked it up with a pair of tweezers.
Didn't give you any resistance?
No.
With your honor's permission, I would like us to look at a depiction of the hair. May I, your honor?
What exhibit number?
It is, I believe we're going to start with 144B.
Okay.
And if you could zoom in, please, Mr. Wolf, for the jury and for Ms. Hartnett, please. Do you still have a laser pointer, Ms. Hartnett?
Yes, sir.
Could you kindly use that and draw a circle around the apparent hair?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm going to refer to that as a J shape. Is that a fair description of it, or do you have a better description of it?
I see two ends of the hair in an arch, so I'm going to say more of like a C shaped.
Okay, so you would refer to that as a C shape?
Correct.
And would that be a reverse C? Then if it's a C shape?
In that picture, it's difficult to tell if the ends are making contact or if they're coming off the vehicle, so I'm not sure.
Whatever way you would describe it, a letter or shape, because then what I'm going to do, just it's not a trick here, but
Yeah.
I'm just going to show you another picture of it, of that hair that might be in a different location or different shape. So I want to give a contrast. So whatever term you want to use that's fair to you.
So I think it looks like a C. I can't say, it could also be like a U. I'm not sure which way the ends are facing from this perspective.
Can you once again, just so we're clear and the jury's clear, just draw a circle around it again, what
Sure.
you're talking about, and we won't give it a name,
Okay.
right? We'll just do the contrast. Right.
Okay.
So if I were to just say there looks like there might be a little hook at the top and then there's a vertical line, is that a fair description?
Yes.
Okay, so can we go with that? A little hook at the top and then straight, or a line, vertical line that comes down?
Sure.
And
Yes.
that hook is orienting left, correct? Of the vertical line? It's to the left of the vertical line?
Yes, I do see it from this perspective to the left. That's
Okay,
correct.
very good. And that's the apparent hair.
Yes.
And you only saw or found one apparent hair, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
All right, if we could, Mr. Wolf, now go to exhibit 144A. And if you could zoom in on that for Ms. Hartnett and the jury's benefit. Could you draw a circle now around the apparent hair? Thank you. And isn't that apparent hair now oriented almost 180 degrees, the opposite, with the hook orienting right?
The photo's taken from a different angle, so do you see the hook? Are you talking about the hook at the top? Looks now, it appears to be on the right, but I can't, they're taken from different angles, sure.
How do you know where to take it? Did you take the picture?
No.
Are you speculating that it's taken from a different angle?
I mean, I have to see them side by side, but it's just the orientation of the, my marking. Can you put them up side by side?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Is that would be helpful you answer your questions? How do you?
Potentially, yes, thank you.
It would actually help me zoom in side by side.
I mean, even from the overalls, I can tell that they're taken.
Let's start with the overalls that you would like. And then we can, okay. Is that where you want to start?
Yes, just by looking at those to me, it looks like one is from slightly to the side of the vehicle and one is more directly head on.
Right, so one's slightly to the side and the other's a little bit more head on, but that's the only difference, correct? It's
Yes.
still the same from top to bottom. It's still the same from side to side. It's the same orientation, correct?
The vehicle didn't move, but the camera angle is different in both pictures. That's what I was saying in the other one. So the camera angle is different. The one camera angle appears for who's ever taking the photo to be standing off to the right of the vehicle. The second photo looks like it's more directly head on.
The 570 is oriented the same way in both pictures, correct? You see the 570?
Yes. Yes.
On the left, and you see the 570 on the right, correct?
Yes, I do.
They're same orientation, right?
They're in the same location on the vehicle, but I don't think they're the same orientation. I think one was.
If you could, I want to make sure you finish, but if you could just, my questions are rather narrow.
Okay.
And then if you need more time to answer them, I'm happy to do that.
So let's just ask a
Yes,
question.
thank you. So isn't the 570 in each picture oriented the exact same way?
If you could just explain what you mean by oriented, I think that's where I'm confused.
They're the same, you can read the 570 horizontally. It's the same horizontal plane, correct? It's the same straight across, like one doesn't have the 570 upside down. You can read it from left to right, a 5, a 7, and a 0, correct?
Correct.
Thank you. Now, if we can, Mr. Woke, now zoom in and get the largest depiction of each one from zoom in. Are you saying the difference in how that hair appears is from a different camera angle?
No, I'm not making that conclusion. I'm just saying I can't make any other conclusion because they're from different angles. I don't feel that I can compare the two.
Is it possible that the hair moved when someone took a photograph?
Can you answer that question?
Again, I just can't make that conclusion because I didn't take the photo and the photos look like they're from different angles.
In your experience, you've taken samples many times of apparent hair, correct?
Have I taken samples
Yes.
such as that? Yes, that's correct.
Has it ever happened that when you're taking a sample, the photographer or someone breathes on it and the apparent hair moves? Does that ever happen?
I'll allow that.
I've never had firsthand experience with that. So that if somebody breathes on an item of evidence, that would be something I would know.
Other than, and is it correct that you're speculating as to what could be causing this difference? Are you speculating?
Sustained. I'd like to see counsel talk for a couple of minutes, please.
Thank you for your patience, Ms. Hartnett. Do you have any explanation that you're certain of with regard to those two depictions?
Regarding what, sir? I'm sorry.
The two depictions that are up on the screen.
Do I have any explanation of what?
Of those two depictions that you're certain of.
Those are.
It's okay, Maylan. I think we've all been kind of just today. I my eyes keep wanting to close. I swear I was starving and I was wide awake, and as soon as I ate, yeah, I'm not staying awake very easily. I'm trying to get through this last minute, and then we're gonna have the be done for the day and get into Shannon Burgess tomorrow. But this is going to end in just a minute. I'm going to end the stream after that. So I hope to see you all tomorrow, approximately 1 o'clock. I also already put my Psych Night thumbnail up, so hit a reminder, put notifications on. Please like and subscribe. My Psych Night tomorrow night at 10 o'clock. But thank you so much for hanging out with me today, you guys. Darth Vader, thank you so much, sweetie. You guys are awesome.
Both are a depiction of the same apparent hair that I collected from the vehicle.
Thank you.
All right, so turn on the lights, please. There is, I'm told, council, this is a good place to break. So we're going to break for today. Please don't say anything. Do not discuss this case with anyone. Do not do any independent research.
Well, this isn't the end. This is a break. So we are going to end here for today just because we're all sleepy. It's just been one of those days. We'll finish up with her tomorrow before we head into Shannon Burgess. So again, with that being said, I love you all. You have a great rest of your Tuesday. I will see you in the chats later and hopefully see you all again tomorrow here in the chats. Love you guys. Bye.